and going. A show.
How you feeling,
Show. I'm feeling show. Yeah.
Show.
All right, here we go. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Here we go with Core Proper in 3, 2, 1.
I have sailed the oceans, climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, and driven a dog sled in Alaska. But house renovation is not really my thing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Core, where we talk about video games, the industry, games we're playing, and a whole lot more. It's Thursday, May 19th, 2022. I'm Scott with Bo and John, and we're back, everybody. Hope you're well.
The hell was that?
What? What'd you hear? Oh, the thing at the beginning?
Lady.
Oh, this lady.
I have sailed the oceans.
That's,
yeah, Humble Brag McGee.
I'll talk about it later in more depth, but I got some DLC. It's actually a key from the developer for House Flipper. And it's a new Pets DLC. So this lady, that's her, if I'd let the dialogue go along, you would have heard all about her bunny and how her rabbit needs a place to stay, and I got to renovate her little rabbit cage. But also, while I'm in her house and working on all this, I found a stray puppy in a box, and I get to keep him, and I can either adopt him myself and name him, or I can not sell him, I can give him to the shelter. And there's just like a whole new pet thing going on.
Wait, you found a stray puppy in her house that you were renovating?
In a box. Yeah. Weird, right? I don't trust
she
that.
Forget about it while she was climbing Mount Kilimanjaro?
Well, her house is in a...
I thought I'd just go climb a mountain, but oops, I forgot I had a dog. Weird.
I don't think it's her dog. So it's a stray. She doesn't know what it is. I haven't talked to her, though, but so who knows? The game doesn't have me talking to her.
That's the excuse everybody uses. I don't know where the drugs came from, officer. Yeah. I was just out climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, and I didn't know what was in the box.
I had no idea. Exactly. I almost sold the box, or trashed the box before I knew there was a dog in it. So that was a little bit scary. He's healthy and in good spirits. He follows me around now. He has a little paper hat.
Wait, is it possible for him to end up in the dump truck after you throw him out?
I don't know. I don't know if it would have let me. It may not have let me throw him away, but he's super cute.
It's in there till it gets crushed. You're like, oh shit.
So there's a whole bunch of weird pet functionality in the game now, and it seems pretty good so far. The reviews are good for it, so I haven't messed enough to really give it I don't know whether it really adds a ton or not to the House Flipper core experience, but so far it's all right. But we'll get to that in my chore core experiences this week later.
John's an equal opportunity critic. We shat on a Halo in the pre-show, and he's like, Scott, what is up with that clip?
Yeah, what is this lady? She's not from Halo, I can tell you that. And by the way, if you're like, wait, what? Halo? You guys talked about the Halo TV show? We did. If you're a patron of the show at any level, you get bonus content every week. Yeah, and this week we had a really great spirited conversation about Halo.
I feel before someone spends money, it's important to point out that there's 40 minutes of pre-show and there's maybe 3 minutes of Halo, and then we talk about other topics. But yes, it's related in a way.
Your desire to hear those topics may vary depending on the person that you are.
Yeah, and I had to pick up.
Feel in your soul.
I had to pick up little dog poops in this game because the dog had kind of had free reign of this place while she was gone. And there's like pee and stuff all over the place. So I had to clean all that
poo
up.
Flipper in your house.
Well, poo flipper.
It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
It's Flipception.
That game is still, I think, I said this on the show before, I think it's the reigning, I don't know what to call it, like the game that is probably the best at what it's doing in the chore core space. And they just keep adding to it and making their players happy and having an amazing review average. And I don't know, I just feel like they're kind of ahead of everybody else.
Oh, there's a bit of an overarching goal to house flipping versus the other things, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's a real thing that people make money at.
Yeah, for sure. I do kind of wish they would combine their efforts with those power wash sim people, because then I could just power wash the house and then flip the house. But
how do you clean the house right now?
Right now you do it. It's all interior. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's garden add-on stuff that I haven't messed with yet, but
yeah, you can paint the outside of the house, and there's some washing, but it's not in depth.
No, yeah. Whereas Power Wash Sim is all about washing.
You don't, because it depends like how much simulation it is versus video game. Because the last thing you want to do is spray your house with water. Because, water damage is a really bad thing in a house.
Did you see a lot of that?
I could see the house flipping purists be like, oh, I'm out. They added water washing to the inside is not realistic anymore. They're just pandering to big water. I'm out.
Big water.
Big water. Right now, nobody's big water. Everybody's got not enough water. But yeah, it's a cool game. I'll get more into it a little bit later. But plenty to cover today. Lots to talk about, including some big news today. So let's get to it. Also, I just want to thank people for all their nice comments about our mostly email show last week. We went a little long, but people really enjoyed catching up to those emails. So that was nice.
It's good to hear.
Yeah, and we got more emails as a result this week. So they'll never end. We'll always have emails to read. Thank you for that, everybody at home. So, Marvel Snap. Yep, that's the name.
Oh, baby.
Yep.
More importantly, it's the return of Ben Brode.
That's right. Ben Brode coming out of, well, he hasn't been in hiding. He's been working hard with their second breakfast company he created after they all left.
Second dinner.
Second dinner? Did I say second breakfast?
Yeah.
Hobbits.
That's Tolkien.
Yeah, it's Tolkien.
Brode is dinner. Tolkien's breakfast.
They are making a game. We knew they were making a game in it, and we did know it was Marvel IP because that was announced a long, long time ago, but there's been nothing else said about what this was, if it even was a CCG. Turns out it is. This is by former Hearthstone devs, including Ben Brode, among others, and they announced it and made a trailer for it. And when I first saw this splash art for it, if you click that link, you guys will see it. I thought this was an article about what are they called? Saints Row, the new Saints Row reboot. Because look how damn purple everything is.
Very purple. I like it.
I was sure that's what this was just by a glance, but. Nope, it's called Snap. And what else do we know about it? I mean, they've got a video where they show off some stuff, but it's a CCG, man.
Yeah, so there's an announcement video, but there's also a gameplay video which actually reveals the gameplay. Yeah. So Ben Brode's the Hearthstone man. And I think Young Woo's the other guy too. Big names associated as dev team leads on Hearthstone and its inception. Yeah. So they're bringing that energy to this. Yeah. But basically, it goes deeper on that philosophy of quick games and getting rid of things that are antagonists to fun and speed, which is also a thing for this mobile business thing. But we'll leave that alone for now. The games apparently last 3 minutes. Wow. They're meant to be very quick, and it's kind of an ante system. So you ante up one cosmic cube, both people, and then you're playing to either win or lose that ante, and you can double it. And I think the snapping is doubling the cosmic cubes. I'm not sure to what extent you get it, but that's the overall mechanics, and it's basically rank. The cubes are rank, and the concede button is right there on the screen. You don't got to press escape because it's a retreat button. Because basically, as the game goes on, you ante up more and more. So if you feel like you're going to win, you double down. And like poker, you bet more on a pot the longer you stay in a hand. So like poker, the longer you stay in a game, the more you're potentially going to ante up, double up the stakes. So you might just want to fold and move on to the next game.
Interesting. Real focus on hurry up and go. Play, get out, play again, keep playing, play,
get out. But it's like play more pots per hour in poker parlance. And for a mobile game, that sort of makes sense because mobile is, it's time filling, right? So if you can play for 3 minutes, you might play. Yeah. Or only have 15 minutes for a couple games. I want to say my first impression of this was like, yeah, I don't know. Okay. All right. JPEG Battler, they are pulling out, it seems, from all the nines on this. So these JPEGs are in 3D. They animate, they look 3D, and they're probably the sickest looking cards in any JPEG brawler I've seen so far. Like, the cards look phenomenal, and the aesthetics to what I'm seeing in the gameplay looks really good. It does the Hearthstone thing of like when you play an ability, lasers shoot out of the cards and they say sweet lines and all the trappings of Hearthstone, but it actually looks like an advancement on that stuff.
It looks very mobile focused.
There will be a PC version.
There will be. Okay.
Yeah,
This was
so it's for PC and mobile, but they're launching mobile first.
which is the only difference between this and Hearthstone is they launched PC first and then mobile, but we always knew mobile was coming. John, you spent a fair amount of time at Hearthstone. Does the ex-Hearthstone team working on this thing and now finally having a game, soon ready to play in this form? How are you feeling about it?
Well, I mean, immediately, I'm a huge Marvel fan. I like the comic books, and back in the day when I was a young lad, before I read any comic books, I collected I think it was the tops, or whoever was doing them, like Marvel cards, where it would you get your cards, and on the back would be their power stats and all of that. And this mimics some of the art style of some of that. I love the way the cards look in this.
I do too.
I think they look awesome.
They
I'm
really do.
so in love with the look of this game that it's making me go, you know what? I'm gonna try this. And I'm 100% gonna try this one. So everybody, I'm gonna download a mobile game. I'm gonna download a mobile game. If it does have a lot of gotcha mechanics, if I start spending money on it, it will be a very short-lived Marvel game. But I played a good deal of that League of Legends card game and got a nice experience there. And I think it's very possible to play these games without putting money into it, or a ton of money into it. And I'm willing to give it a go based on how it looks. Because again, I just think the look of this is really cool.
Even the names, just being the font of their comic titles,
it's pretty cool.
That's a nice
and touch, the way those cards rotate out and do that pseudo 3D thing just for a hot second while they're folding towards you and then going and landing, you have to kind of watch it to see it, but that's really rad. It almost seems like all your cards are gold cards. They all seem really fancy.
So I reserve an opinion until I play it and see what's the monetization behind this, how aggressively are they going after your wallet and your money and all of that. But from purely how the game looks, I think it looks fun. Would I rather have a PC version? Yes, that's the version I want to see, especially liking the art. I want to see it on a big monitor, not on my phone. But I'll probably give it a go and try it on mobile if it's free or whatever. Yeah. So we'll see. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, John's gonna hate this." Not in principle, but again, it depends a lot on how they go after my wallet. Card games and Pokemon Go have kind of been my exception to the mobile rule. Because I have to say that I've played Hearthstone and I've played League of Legends on my phone. I can't pretend I didn't. So
Legends of Runeterra is pretty great. I mean, it has a good single player mode. I don't know if this will. Maybe it won't matter because the games are so short. It'll be fun to play PvP. But if they do it right, you should be able to have a lot of fun for free. I guess
I think so too. Yeah. I'm more excited about this than the Blizzard game, the stupid Shards of Monkeyland or whatever it's called. What's it called?
the tower, the reverse tower defense game.
Yes, that the Clash of Clans ripoff or the Clash Royale ripoff. I'm way less interested in that than I am this. This at least looks new and interesting.
I think Warcraft Arc Light Rumble does suffer because of the current state of Blizzard. I think if WoW was still going strong and we were in a good place with the Blizzard, we would look at that as well, it's just an extra game. I feel like it does color our perspective on it. I know you hate tower defense games.
I do hate them,
even though Age of Darkness is pretty good. That's a good one. But you don't like that style?
I just don't. I don't know why. I mean, you could argue there are games I like and play that are sort of tower defensey. In some ways, Loop Hero has tower defense mechanics, but I don't think of it that way at all.
No, it's not.
It's not the same.
Call that tower defense.
It's not the same. But you're still trying to got to be creative about where I place stuff for this loop around a thing, and in some ways,
Driftbreaker though.
Yeah, that's true. I do.
That's tower defense.
Kinda. Yeah, I mean, yes.
Base, waves destroy it.
I don't know if I like it.
But it's the low effort. Here's a linear path and put things on the path and just watch them blow up. I don't like that. That's the worst case. Yeah, I don't like that. Anyway, but let's not talk about Warcraft Arc Light Rumble. Let's talk about Snap because It's actually it's really sick looking, and like even a part of me is like, I don't know. It's Ben Broden team. They're going to do a good job of this. Like, I would set aside any reservations until I tried it.
It's also Marvel, who doesn't let stuff get this far along without massive oversight. So,
but I mean, like, yeah, but it's like not every game I'm gonna like just because it has the Marvel name tag on it. Like, I really feel like what's interesting about this isn't the Marvel for me. What's interesting about this isn't that it's Marvel; it's that it's Ben Brode and Young Woo, and they left to make their own TCG because obviously they didn't want to stay. Hearthstone is an overwhelming success. Why would you want to leave in the height of its was still going strong when they left? But they left to do this.
It surprised me.
So I'm really curious about what they've done.
Yeah, I am too. We didn't get any kind of date out of this, right, Bo? Like no release date or anything, did we? No,
but beta is open for Android. I signed up with it. As soon as I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna sign up. It's Android, but I can play on BlueStacks, I'm pretty sure. So we'll see if I get in, but I definitely want to give this a go.
Windows 11 will let you play it native, I think. Is that their deal right
now?
But
that's coming later. It's not releasing at the same time.
No,
so
I mean
the release plan is.
No, I mean Windows 11 will let you run native Android right now.
Oh, I don't have 11. Yeah.
Well, I haven't tried it.
Waiting a bit. I don't want to disrupt my life that much right now, so I'm still on 10.
No, I'm with you. It's actually been kind of a pain in some ways. Yeah, so I'm actually really excited about this. I'd like a quick, casual mobile game. If the fun's there, I'm all in on something like this. So, yeah, play it. See what's up. I think the PC version sounds interesting. I'd like that too.
They've done something really interesting with the cosmetics. So Hearthstone had the card backs as a cosmetic.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, they can just do tons of alternate art. Like that's where you see the weird, like chibi Galactus and then a cool looking Venom and all that. So there's going to be a lot of cool art things. Game looks fantastic, and the mechanics are interesting. So this is also a mini artifact game, aka that hot TCG from
the Valve TCG.
Valve. Yeah. So the mechanics are there are 3 locations, aka 3 boards, 3 fields of play. And they all interact with one another, and you have to win 2 of the 3 fields to win the match.
Yeah,
which is literally, it was more involved in Artifact, but that's what Artifact was. You had 3 battles going concurrently while playing. And it's just interesting how you're like, oh, they've taken these mechanics, and this will probably be successful. Like this game looks like it's going to be a success. You can already tell it's yeah.
I have a feeling it will do quite well, and it now finally explains why the other Marvel card battler game that exists is only in certain markets and not in the States or certain other markets. I think they were waiting for this to make this the main flagship card battle game here. I don't know. I can't tell. There's a weird thing, though. There's a game floating around that just never got here. That if you wanted to, you could log into like the New Zealand site. It's not just a beta thing. It's just like straight up just not in this territory. I forgot the name
Marvel
of it.
One?
Yeah, I forgot the name of it though. Brian knows this because he loves that stuff, but I'll have to look it up. Anyway, it looks neat. Sign me up. I'll play this game.
Yeah. I'm kind of stoked for it. The only thing is anyways, it's fine. It's just fear mongering.
Yeah,
because I prefer my 60 card decks, but Magic's still around. It's fine.
Oh, you can still play your Magic and your Hearthstones and your others.
There's a part of me that cringes at like 3-minute matches, and like the decks are going to be 10 to 15 cards. They're like, why do you need 60 cards when really you just need 10 or 15? And I'm like, because it's fun to have a big thick pile of cards.
Because I want a lot of cards.
All right,
yeah.
But I get for what they're trying to do, that probably does work best. I just don't like it when they talk about it like, why are we doing 60 cards? Some of us like to have thousands of miniatures or thousands of cards or whatever the nerddom. That's part of the aesthetic and feel,
Yeah,
and nothing is going to supplant 60, or in the case of Elder Dragon Highlander, a thick 100 cards. Stack of completely sleeved cards you bring your little like motorcycle gloves and you're ready to play a hot game of Magic full of arcane rules. But it's not trying to supplant that. But I don't like it when they talk about it. They talked a little bit like I don't think they mean it, but they talked a little bit like what's the point when you can do this? It's like
I think they are.
You know, you're not being genuine. You know, it's fun to have a giant pile of them. And I know Ben Brode does because he literally streams his Magic Elder Dragon Highlander games. So
yeah, he loves that stuff.
Just keep it real, guys. That's all.
Do you have a pair of biker gloves you would wear for?
No. But when I would go to Magic the Gathering tournaments, there was one guy. He kind of looked. He had the look of some. Is it Mr. Glass from Unbreakable?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he kind of had that vibe going on. He'd come with his Magic cards, and he was really good at Magic Gathering. And he was a young black man, but he had these gloves on, these motorcycle gloves, and he kind of had this like kind of capish looking trench coaty sort of thing. Like he just looked like he was a wizard from Hogwarts.
That's cool.
Coming to play Magic, and he was like, I got owned by him, and I'm like, he's younger than me, and I'm just like, God damn, this guy's good at Magic, and he looks cool too.
Yeah,
he looks like a wizard. He doesn't actually look cool. People would be like, well, "What a weirdo."
Yeah,
but in my mind, in the community, it's like it stands out. Anyways, that's
sure.
Those spells, slinging spells, that makes your hands hot. You got to protect them.
That's true. So yeah, look, I guess forward to this. I don't know how many artists they lost at Blizzard, then went with Second Dinner. But
a lot of those got to be on contract too, right?
Some of these might be, but I assume that like the actual card art, I think tons of that's just from Marvel. But this key art looks like Blizzard art. Like I wonder who they got. They took somebody over who's awesome, and that's good for them. Because I'm getting kind of
a lot of artists left. I mean, a lot of the big. Actually, when we were watching Kent Eric Hagman, I think that's his name. I'm probably getting it wrong. He was a balance guy on Heroes.
Oh, no way.
And he's one of the guys that are in there. I'm like, oh shit, I recognized him. We used to wait for news and do the AMAs on Heroes with that guy. I think we might have. No, we didn't interview him, but I saw him at
BlizzCon.
At the Heroes 2.0 event that John and I went to.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
I think we saw him there.
Very nice.
Anyway.
Well, look forward to that coming this year.
I met Ben Brode too, by the way.
Yeah, he's super nice.
I chatted with Ben Brode. He's great.
Same. He's super nice guy. I talked to him back when they had the year they announced Hearthstone, and he looked terrified the entire time. He just looked terrified because they were like suddenly it was all real and you were making this game, and prior to that he was at a much smaller role on other teams. Yeah, that's good for them. He
posts his Hearthstone reps on YouTube.
Yeah, good for those guys.
Yeah, he's less shy.
Sony released the initial lineup of all their PlayStation Plus change-a-rooney that's happening in June, and it's not that great. It's okay. It's gonna get me to buy into the middle service, but they did nothing to the basic service. So the $10 a month one staying the same. And that makes it so you can play multiplayer games and so that you can get the 1 or 2, 3, whatever free games a month. That's the exact same system as they've had forever with Plus. So that's staying the same. And by the way, to block a bunch of emails that I will get about this. I know that free to play games don't require Plus to play them. Free to play multiplayer games. So if you want to play Apex Legends, you want to play Fortnite, you want to play 100 of those other games, you can play them without paying for it, and that's also now true on Xbox. You don't need to pay to play those free-to-play games. But if you want to play multiplayer in, I'm trying to think of a premium game here, Last of Us 1, or 2 didn't have the multiplayer, or did it? But 1 did.
Not yet. It's supposedly going to get it at some point, though.
So if it gets it, or whatever multiplayer game you're buying, you can't play those games without paying for the basic Plus service. That's what I'm saying. I know that the free-to-play games have an exception. Okay, so quit sending me emails about it. So now that we all know that, whenever I say multiplayer, you'll understand what I mean. Okay, moving on. Sorry, I got a really gnarly email the other day, and I apparently I haven't gotten it out of my system. All right, here's the lineup. I'm not going to read all these because it's huge, and I did a whole thing on a YouTube video about this if you want to see me go through every game. I kind of regret it now. But anyway, the PlayStation Studios games that you're going to get. Let's see. This is which level? This is... Hold on. I want to make sure I get this the right one. Here we go. The PlayStation Studio stuff. Alienation, Bloodborne, Concrete Genie, Days Gone. A whole bunch of PS4 games that you know and love. Demon's Souls. That's the PS5 remake. Or not remake, remaster. Everybody's Golf, although that's in Japan, I think. I'm not sure we get that here. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut for PS4 and PS5. That's good news. That's a really cool game. God of War, Gravity Rush 2, Gravity Rush Remastered. Those are actually kind of cool. Horizon Zero Dawn, Infamous Last Light. The new game, not the Horizon Zero Dawn's on there, but Horizon Forbidden West is not on there. Neither is anything that's super new. I have to admit, I was a little surprised to see Ghost of Tsushima on there because I think they could have held off. But the 2 Spider-Man games are on here. That is to say, the remastered PS4, PS5 game with the new Peter Parker dude in it, and then the new Miles Morales game are included also. Matterfall, Medieval, Patapon 1 and 2, Resogun, Returnal, Shadow of the Colossus, Tearaway Unfolded, Last Guardian, Last of Us Remastered, Last of Us Left Behind, Until Dawn, Uncharted, Nathan Drake Collection. That's the PS4 version of that, though. It's important to note it's not the new PS5 version, so it's a little bit weird. Uncharted 4, Thief's End, PS4 again, PS4 also for Lost Legacy, and then the Wipeout Omega Collection. I already have that. That's your first-party stuff that will be in that central tier and above. So the, what do they call it, extra? Hold on. Yeah, PlayStation Plus Extra will have all those that I mentioned. Then you got third-party partners. This is not that great of a list. It's okay, but like Ashen, the big one's Assassin's Creed Valhalla, although that requires a Ubisoft Plus membership. So it's, that one's a little funky.
$16. That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird, but it's in there if you wanted it. Batman Arkham Knight, Celeste, City Skylines, Dead Cells. A bunch of these are on Game Pass, so that might be some of these are familiar. Let's see. Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition. That's the car dude one, right? Bunch of car guys running around in a car. Hollow Knight, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, which is also on Game Pass. Mortal Kombat 11, which is also on Game Pass. NBA 2K22, Outer Wilds, Red Dead Redemption 2. That's kind of a big one. A bunch of others. I'm not going to read them all. Artful Escape.
I think it's worth noting, just real quick, just to let everybody know.
Yeah.
The only games on here that are PS5 is Death Stranding and Death Stranding Director's Cut.
Yeah.
Demon's Souls, Destruction All-Stars, Ghost of Tsushima,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Returnal.
Yeah.
That's it for the
first party.
Sony, for the first party.
They're all PS4 games.
And then for third party, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Control, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Mortal Kombat 11, NBA 2K22, The Artful Escape. Those are the only PS5 titles. Everything else.
So there's
PS4.
10 PS5 titles, and it's all PS4.
Yeah.
Wow.
But keep in mind, these are PS4 titles playable on your PS5, and many of them have faster frame rates.
I think it's just worth noting, like, you know, in the case of some of these, there are PS5 versions of these games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's the weird bit. Like the I think the Uncharted stuff being all on there. I know it's new, and maybe they'll roll it in. And I know they can't fire every gun they have on day one, right? They got to like spread some of this stuff out and get people excited for the long haul. So them holding off on a few of these doesn't surprise me. I don't know that it's going to excite too many people though. I mean, here's the thing. In all fairness, Game Pass is made up on the console side. Is made up of a ton of Xbox One games as well. But I don't really when I fire that stuff up, I don't even think about it. I'm just playing video games like I would on a PC almost.
Well, you don't have to think about it because if it exists in a Xbox Series X form, that's the version you get.
That's the version you get.
And I think that's where my problem is. So I'll say my opinion right off the bat. I don't think it's fair to compare what PlayStation is doing to Game Pass because I don't think they're one-to-one products. Like, it's hard to avoid that conversation because you got a subscription service that gives you a lot of games on Microsoft's side, and then you got a subscription service for PlayStation that gives you a lot of games. But I feel like with their goals, they are so different as to what they provide the person, whoever's paying for it. I think that it's a little unfair to compare them, and that's what everybody seems to want to do. So I'm trying not to do that. But I do think my issue at its core with PlayStation is because they haven't offered, you get whatever the best version of a game is. They've kept it separate. There's a PS4 version, there's a PS5 version, and they've always had this kind of clear-cut differential between those. It makes the waters murkier, and when they put out a list of games that you get and it's the PS4 version instead of the PS5, it feels a little disingenuous to me.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
Yeah.
I mean, free games are better than no games, so maybe don't look a gift horse in the mouth, but at the same time, it just feels weird.
I think it's reasonable to say, give me the best version of what you got for a subservice. It should be simple for people to consume.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Even on that basis alone, it's like whatever that, like, you're marketing it and the quality. So now you're saying you're ripping people, like you're double billing. Like, oh yeah, I played Spider-Man or whatever game, PS4 version. If I want the PS5 version, I got to buy the full box price. Like, no, I already played it.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get me to double down on money for no reason.
Oh, and I'm glad you said that, because this the Marvel Spider-Man first game is not the PS5 game. It's the PS4 game.
PS4 only. That's why I brought up one of them is both PS4 and PS5. I think Miles Morales.
Yeah, Miles Morales is. Yeah.
But the original Spider-Man,
there's no reason
PS4.
They couldn't throw that in there. The PS5 version of that, which is great. It's really well done what they did to it. No complaints, but there's no reason that's not on this list. I actually really don't understand that. I would have been more surprised, or I would have been less surprised if they would have had no Miles Morales on this list and just had the PS5 remaster of 2018's game. But yeah, Bo, I completely agree with Bo on that. I think it's a weird thing to do, giving away all these Uncharteds and not just putting on that freaking Nathan Drake collection that already exists, that's already PS5 ready. Yeah. So anyway, there's that.
So you agree with John too? I feel like I stole his agreement.
Oh, did you take his agreement?
It's fine.
John's like, here's all the great reasons. And I'm like, yeah. And I just want to make sure John's included.
Well, okay. If the goal of this thing is, and I have to imagine it is, and I said this on the YouTube video, the goal is to do this. You buy a console, even if it's a PS4, whatever. You take it home, and now instead of, well, what game did you get? Well, I didn't get one yet. I got to wait until Christmas or whatever. All of that goes away. Now you're like, I paid $15 a month, $14.99, and I now have this access to all of these games. I think that accomplishes this goal. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this gets them at least there.
Sure.
So that if I buy a new console and I get it home, I've got shit to do right out of the gate, and I have a lot of choice.
Young Billy doesn't know the difference between PS4 and PS5 Spider-Man.
Probably not.
The thing that I always think about is, remember when the PS4 announcement happened, and they really just took the piss out of Microsoft because they were like, here was the Xbox One, all these complicated things, and then they were like, here's how you share a game with your friend on the PlayStation. And they made that little snarky video that I thought was awesome. I was so happy with Sony doing this because I thought Microsoft deserved those lumps. But they do that thing where he goes, here, and he hands his friend a disc and he goes, thanks. And they really were making good fun of how complicated Microsoft had made a very simple concept.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the exact opposite of that, because I don't remember now. I don't have a PS5 or easy access to a PS5 is a better way to say it. So I can't remember how it worked, but I thought to get the PS5 version of Marvel Spider-Man, you either needed the collector's edition of Miles Morales or you had to pay for an additional extra on top of it, and that got you it.
That is correct.
Okay, so I get Miles Morales for free. Does that mean I can then just buy the little upgrade and get the PS5 version? What happens if I then cancel my service? Does that go away? Do I lose access to the PS5 version of Spider-Man? This is what I mean by it muddies the water. All of a sudden I have all these questions about how something works when it feels like it should be the easiest thing in the world. Do I have access to this game? Yes. And if yes, is it the best version of the game that exists out there? Yes. And I think it should be that simple. And I don't think it's consumer friendly to not be.
I've never agreed with you more, and Bo to an extent, because you're both kind of saying the same thing. I agree with you guys 100% on this. It's a mistake for them to do that. They can still iron it out with time. 100% though. 100%. This should be like Netflix. While I have Netflix and I'm sub to it, I have access. And when I'm not sub to it, I don't have access. When I do have access to it,
It's everything that's available. And if one of the movies is 4K, sweet, I got a 4K movie out of the deal. If some of them are standard def, fine, whatever. They're just what they are. They're not holding back high def versions because I'm, need to go pay separate for a movie. Like, that's how it needs to be. Turn the water on, turn the water off. It's either on or it's off. And when it's on, it should be everything is available. And the best versions of what you have are available. And when it's off, you just don't. And instead, it just feels weird. Like, I own the PS4 version of Spider-Man. But for me to get the PS5 upgrade for that and Miles Morales, the only reasonable thing for me to do is to buy the combo. And even looking at this, I think it was still the best choice because they were just going to give me a PS4 version of that game again. It's weird. It's very weird.
I'm going to save you emails because I already see it in chat, and I thought it too when you said it, and you will get emails on this. Netflix charges more for 4K.
Oh, I should.
So technically, they do charge for higher quality. But I get your point though. Like, the point is more like, you know what you're getting. There isn't guesswork in this. There is guesswork to this. Like, you can't look at a list of games for PlayStation and go, oh, I know exactly what I'm getting. They have to denote what system it's for for me to understand which version of that game I'm getting. And I just don't think that's very... I don't think that's very good. I don't even...
In the Netflix example, it tells you when you sign up, you're going to get 1080p, but not 4K. But pay more and you'll get the 4K. Like, it's very simple.
Yeah.
And it's universal. It's not a case of, well, some movies offer 4K, but you're not going to get the 4K for those. Like, you know what you're getting when you pay for it.
Yeah.
This one is not 100%.
There you go.
Clear.
Yeah, maybe HBO Max or Hulu or somebody's a better example because they don't have a weird 4K tier.
Yeah, Disney has whatever's available in 4K.
Disney Plus is an even better example. But so here's where things get real muddy for me, because as somebody who's just buying a PlayStation and doesn't have all the connections we to all of this stuff and all this way we're thinking, because I agree with you 100%. But if some mom's getting it for their kid and they know they can just throw down $15, their kid's happy, they're off to the races, they got their Fortnite plus all these games to play, they're good. So I get that solves a problem for Sony. Here's where it gets murky for me. The next level up, which is called Premium, it's $19.99 a month. This includes classic games and third-party classics. But man, is this list shitty. No offense, Sony. You guys are great. But man, this is bad. First of all, there's no PlayStation 2 games in this at all. 0. No one's explained that or why or said anything about it. But 0 PS2 in this catalog. Here's what you got. PlayStation Studios, Ape Escape, Hot Shots Golf. These are all original PlayStation games. IQ Intelligent Cube, Jumpin' Flash, Siphon Filter, Super Stardust Portable for the PSP. The lone PlayStation, or the lone PSP game, by the way. Third-party partners, Mr. Driller from Bandai Namco, Tekken 2 from Bandai Namco. Worms World Party from Team 17 and Worms Armageddon from Team 17. So 2 Worms games in the classic third-party catalog there. And that seems garbage to me. That's a bad list. I mean, there's some other stuff like Ape Escape 2 for the PlayStation, or play on the PlayStation 4. These are, you know what? I should have made this clear. That's the classic games catalog. This is the remaster classic games catalog I'm about to tell you. Ape Escape 2, Ark the Lad, Dark Cloud 2, Fantavision, Hot Shots Tennis, Jak 2, Jak 3, Jak X Combat Racing, Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy, Rogue Galaxy, Siren, and Wild Arms 3. Third-party BioShock remastered, Borderlands The Handsome Collection, Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition.
There you go.
Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning.
Let's do it now.
And the Harry Potter collection of Lego games. So
Bulletstorm's great. Although it's like 2 cents on Steam, but yeah.
Those aren't great, though. Everything about that list, it's just kind of like, ugh, why would I pay? I know it's only another $5, but I'm not paying for that. These are stupid.
One of the most celebrated collections of classic video games, rivaled only by Nintendo.
Yep.
I would put PlayStation's classic catalog up against anybody except Nintendo and say hands down PlayStation wins. And even then, I think you would find people, if you had the full catalog, that would go, I'd prefer PlayStation.
Yeah.
and this is what they put out. Like, this is a shockingly small bit when they are clearly pulling from PlayStation, PSP, they theoretically PlayStation 2, none of it's on here. Though there are some PS2 games in the remastered category that are PS4. PS3 streaming, which we didn't read, but there is a decent amount there, but it's only available via streaming, which was already a part of their service before.
Yeah. That's just PlayStation Now again. So same deal. Yeah.
It's surprisingly bad.
Yeah.
And to me,
yeah.
Like, I think if you own a PlayStation, their middle tier option is a no-brainer. I think it's a good deal. I think it's a great thing to get. But I think this top tier, like, that's shockingly sad.
Sorry to interrupt, but this game, the first sentence here says, we were pleased to share with you an early look at some of the games that will be included.
Oh, okay. So in theory, they could have more, but
they could. But and like I said earlier, they're not going to spill all their popcorn in the lobby. They're going to keep a hold of big things for later, for sure. But I don't think this is a great
like what
launch.
You said, Scott, was they got to have content to release month. Like, you can't just have a streaming service and not have a cycle of games come in and out.
Right.
So that's definitely, if they're doing it right, that's definitely going to happen. So 12 months on, if they add, I don't know how many games per month they add. Game Pass is averaging, seems like 6.
Usually, 10. Sometimes surprise ones too. They keep surprising me with stuff. It's like,
yeah. So there could be 6 to 10 per month for these guys. So that's 60 more games to add to this list.
You know what's
I think
hilarious?
The point still stands about the classic games being missing, though.
But. Oh yeah. But you know what's hilarious? I just realized nowhere on this list is Sony's own, and it would really help from a sports perspective. I guess NBA 2K22 is on here, but the show is not on here. How is Game Pass? Game Pass has the show 22 and 21. Your game's not even in this. I don't get it.
Oh my gosh, is that gonna? I hope that changes. That's really weird.
They might be a separate entity with different powers within the group. Because I know Daybreak used to be Sony Online Entertainment, right? But it was like, I never really thought of them as a Sony company, right? Like, they have EverQuest, they have PlanetSide, they have all these games, but it's like, it's SOE, it's Sony, but like, it could have been an entirely separate company for all I could tell or care about, so I don't know. Maybe Sony Game Studios is functions a little bit independently of the console.
Possibly. It's weird though. Like, that game's on the console, and that used to be an exclusive for the last 25 years. So I don't know what they're doing. It's really weird to me.
They do say down at the bottom that they're doing a monthly refresh for both of these. For all 3 tiers, they're going to be doing a monthly refresh. Not uncommon. Game Pass does a monthly refresh. Actually, it feels like it's not even monthly. Sometimes it feels like it's week to week. But that, you never really know how much you're going to get, what's going to go away. Usually I think things going away tends to be a monthly thing, whereas new stuff coming in seems to be week to week. You see more of that, at least with Xbox. Don't know what that's going to look like for them. Don't know how that's going to work with, if that's how you're playing Miles Morales again, like, and you end up buying the upgrade to be able to play the PS5 version of Spider-Man. I don't know what that means for you if they decide to cycle that out and what options they're giving you. I think it just makes a lot of questions, which is where the hard part for me is, but I still stand by. I think getting the middle tier service, if I had a PS5, would be a no-brainer. As much as I'm nitpicking about the little things in this that I think they need to fix and work on, I think at least the middle tier, if you have a PS5, especially if you have a family that plays a lot of games, I think it's a no-brainer to get.
Yeah, a lot of those
probably a pretty decent service.
A lot of those PS4 games will get bumps in frame rate and some other stuff too. They already have, so you're going to get better versions of those games, even if they're not technically PS5 exclusives. But I agree with you. I think simplicity would help them. Also, you just said something that made me think. I don't know if I want to bet they're going to do this, but I really hope they don't rotate their own games out of this system. Like the first party stuff should just freaking be there when they add it and stay there, because it's Sony doing this, and they should keep Sony games available and not rotate those out, like Microsoft is not rotating out any Microsoft-owned games. So that means you're never going to not have the Bethesda games and the whoever else they own, and including their own stuff. That'll all stay in perpetuity. The only stuff that rotates out is third party. If Sony does a rotation of their own stuff, I'm going to be annoyed. That will annoy me, because that's dumb. Like, these are your games. You have control over it. Make your service really worth it by keeping your shit in there. Otherwise, I don't want to start up or run a Super Stardust HD, which is great game. Well, I guess that's a streamed one, so that doesn't count. But anyway, whatever. Take any of these. I'll say Red Dead Redemption 2. No, that's third party. Let's say Last of Us Remastered. I'm playing that. Oh, wow, look at me. Ellie and her stuff and the guns and the whatnot and the zombie and the freaking mushroom heads. It's great. I'm having a great time. And then suddenly they go,
perfect description of that game, too. Everybody's just having a hoot and holler.
Good time.
You can buy it.
Yeah, well, I could buy it, and they'll probably encourage me to, and probably give me a break because it's some plus discount. But F that. Don't do that, Sony. They haven't said, but I don't want them.
Said. I would hope, I'm okay and I understand where they're coming from with the slower rollout. Like, this is a new game. We're not going to put brand new games on there. This is not how we are going to make our money. That's fine. But if it's a case of those older games get cycled out to have like weird exclusivity windows, that's strange.
Yeah,
I agree.
That.
It's strange.
Yeah.
I can see them doing it though, but it would be weird.
I hope not. Anyway, we'll see what they do. Like they even said themselves, this list isn't final. They've got 3 weeks until this kicks in. So I will be signing up for the middle tier to try it. And my biggest question remains, where are these PS2 games? I think that's just weird. Like, they're not even streaming the PS2 games. If you can stream the PS3 games, why aren't the PS2 games being streamed? And yes, like John pointed out, some of these remasters are PS2 games technically, but they're PS4 remasters. I want to know. It's only the highest selling console of all history. You'd think you might want a few of those on your service. I don't know. Maybe that emotion engine was just too hard to program for. I don't freaking know. Who knows what they're doing? All right. So good luck. There's a thing. And like I said, I will definitely be getting it, as I think the lone PS4 owner, or 5 owner in here. But I don't know. Even if you're a PS4 owner, I think this is a pretty good value. If you only got a couple of games and you're like, I just need games, I think that middle tier is going to be okay.
Yeah, I'm considering it. Even though I don't play the PS4 all that often, like getting access to a bunch of games sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, let's play games. I like games.
Yeah.
All right, check this out. Old World. Remember Old World? It's like Civilization, except you'd never get out of the old world. I talked about it a lot when it came out on early access on the Epic Store. I bought it there, played the hell out of it, came out 1.0, and then here we are about a year later. And Steam's getting it. Steam and Good Old Games, I should say. If you guys didn't get that in the first place, maybe now's the time. That's a really cool game. Old World is good.
I put it on here just because we've talked about it a lot. It's this weird mix of Civilization, but with some of the Crusader Kings kind of elements thrown in there as well, where you got a little bit more decision making and dynasty and character customization options thrown in there. And anytime we talk about a game that is maybe exclusive and goes wider, I think it's good to let people know that you can find it on other platforms. You never know if there's any bows out there that are like, I am not going to play a game on Epic.
Yeah,
now you have your chance to play it.
Yeah,
because it's somewhere else.
It's really good. So if you're just itching for that turn-based Civ stuff, this is the one that really scratched that itch for me this last year. The one, what was the other one that everyone looked forward to, but it kind of fizzled? Shit.
I mean, Crusader Kings 3 was pretty anticipated.
Oh, that one's a big one. People like that game. What's the one I'm thinking of? It's not that. It's another very Civ-like, Anyway, that thing came out. The endless space people made it. I can't remember it.
I know what you're talking
about. For All Mankind or something? No, that's a TV show. Whatever it is. Mankind? Humankind. Humankind. I got there. I made it.
That's it. That is it.
Oh,
Humankind.
Humankind. People kind of just fell off of that. I think the superior game was this. I think Old World is very good, and it's weird focus on your dynasties and your who inherits. In some ways, it's like slow motion Rogue Legacy, kind of, because you've got these inheritances, and they come from a weird marriage you had, and that guy's a little hot-headed, but the daughter's not. Maybe you make your first queen, and she's in charge. Like, there's a bunch of cool shit in there. It's good. And I also like these games when they don't try to. I don't want to make tanks. I mean, I do, but not in this game. I don't want to go make a bunch of tanks and missiles and nukes. Just, cap it before we get to the Industrial Revolution or whatever, and I'm good.
I want to make tanks, but there is a point where you're researching plastics and you're just like, what have I done with my
what have I done? My favorite part of Civ was always the first ancient stuff. That's what I love the most. And even like Age of Empires, I liked messing around in the older times. I guess they never got modern, but
you ever think God's just up there thinking the same thing?
I hate this modern era.
They just sit at home. They just sit on their ass, watch videos, listen to podcasts. They don't do anything. This was way more interesting when they had to fight for it a little bit.
Researching a bunch of crypto coin and
the microchip. This has been a mistake.
Yeah, I wonder if it is truly a great big Civ game in the sky. It's probably what he thinks. Chat room just mentioned. I did see it hit the store the other day, but V Rising is supposed to be super good.
I have it in my cart in Steam because I really want it because I like the look of it. It looks like if Legacy of Kain and what's the game Bo's been playing a lot of? Valheim had a baby.
Yeah, kind of.
Isn't it an ARPG though?
No, it's like a survival game, right?
It's but it's isometric view. Yeah, it is.
That's
I'm
true.
looking at it now.
Yeah,
it's more like Diablo. It's like a Diablo Valheim because it's a builder, but it's top down like ARPG mechanics. It looks good. I have it on my wish list. I don't have time. I have like 50 new games this week and can't play any of them.
That's kind of where I was at. I was in my cart and I was like, yeah, but look at all the games I bought that I haven't played recently.
Does this dude
the abilities look sick? It's from the guys who did Battlerite. Battlerite was a good game.
Oh, Battlerite was a good game. I liked
Battlerite
Studios.
Okay. So this is like for sure I'm going to purchase at some point, but like I mean, I don't know what I'm going to play this.
So it's like itemized loot and everything.
No.
Okay.
You have vampire. So you're a vampire. You have to hunt at night, and you can't be out in the day. And you do have to build like your manor, but survival is more about finding things to eat, and the things you eat give you blood benefits.
Yeah.
And then you go around doing ARPG style combat.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't know if it's pure ARPG, but think Battlerite, so like it's gonna be like this kind of arcade action. Like it's got Diablo 3 vibes in terms of how flashy the spell effects and movement abilities are. It looks awesome.
It looks really, really good. But this month was or this week, I should say, was a humble reminder because I don't know if you guys saw this, but Borderlands 3 is free on Epic right now. And it made me realize that game became free on Epic before I ever played it after buying it for full price on Epic.
That's my favorite story of the week.
Wait, you bought it? You bought a free game on Epic?
Well, he bought it when it launched.
I bought it back in the day when it first came out for $60, and I never played it, and now it's free on Epic.
Yeah, you can get it. Good, I mean, I felt bad because 2 weeks ago I got it on sale for $14 on Steam, and I went, "Woo! I got a deal. This is great." And I've been playing it, and I actually really do like it. But then it shows up for free as a surprise. Nobody had known. It was one of these like, hey, look what our free game is this week. It's Borderlands 3. I'd forgotten that you had bought that thing back when they had an exclusivity
I bought
thing.
it too. He's not alone. I bought it at launch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have 5 hours in it.
You guys
That's
could have
5 more hours than me. So...
Oh, sorry, I didn't pay full price. I bought it on launch on Steam, which was already a year after it came out. So I think it was only 40 or 50 Canadian.
Yeah, it was a little less.
So, the original price is $79.99. Although it's $19.90, you can still buy it today for $19.99 if for some reason you want it on Steam over Epic. And I have 11.8 hours on record. So, like, yeah, man, like, I appreciate the idea behind free games, but also, like, they're worth something, man. Like, I kind of hate that this shit gets given away. Not because I have sour grapes about it or whatever, but, like, it's just why I don't know. I feel it's just silly. It's like, what am I paying the $70 for the right to play it in a time window?
Yeah, kind of.
So it's not really about the value of the game. Like, that's how, because they're so messed up in how they make money, and there's such a race to the bottom to get people. They just give this shit away. It's just annoying.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised.
Old man about it.
I was really surprised because the game is still a good big seller and doing fine, and sales were actually up in the light or in the shadow of the new Tiny Tina's Wonderlands thing. People are like, "Oh yeah, 4 or 3. I didn't play that yet. That's on sale. I'm gonna go play that." So they were already selling more of them. The fact that it's their free game this week came out of freaking nowhere.
I think the way you're supposed to look at it, though, with Epic is that I don't know. Someone please confirm this, but I think if you get it for free on Epic, Epic's actually shelling money out.
Yeah.
So it's not that the developers are giving it away; it's that Epic is actually literally giving money to the developers, and you get it for free.
That is my understanding, also.
So if that's the case, then we're completely wrong, and
well, I mean,
it's
still
only free for a week. It's like it's a deal. Not everyone's going to take advantage of it,
right?
Sure.
And money is being spent on it, just not your money.
But my point still stands is that it was a reminder that I need to not buy video games I don't intend to play. Right?
Yeah, right. I'm just saying what I said was kind of stupid, probably.
Yeah, but the lesson here, hopefully, is maybe that's part of it too. Is that maybe? Thing is, though, John, you probably had full intentions to play it at launch, though. You were like,
well, yeah, I mean, Bo was excited about it, and you were interested in it, and we were kind of going around about it, and I was like, well, maybe if I get it and something happens. I didn't like the jokes, but I liked the gameplay a lot, and maybe I'll play with somebody. Got around to it.
I think gameplay of 3 is better than 2.
And
I just didn't care.
There's other games, and even now I'm like, maybe I should play Borderlands. You guys, Scott was playing it. You got it. Maybe we should play it. But then I'm like, and I didn't put this in the show notes, and I meant to, so I'm going to bring it up now. There's an officially supported VR version of Deep Rock Galactic coming.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I wonder how that's going to play.
I've been waiting. I've been like, I got to get back to playing Deep Rock Galactic. It's installed.
Such a great game.
And I just don't. And now that it's on VR, I'm like, this is absolutely an experience I want to have. It's Deep Rock Galactic in VR.
So is it a project of fans doing it, or is it them putting it in?
There was an art. Let me go to my Twitter. It was provided to me this morning as a thing here. Let me see, by Evan Ottaway. Deep Rock. It's Road to VR. Deep Rock Galactic VR mod gets developer approval nearing open beta. Okay, so not officially supported, but it is approved by the developers. So that's good. Maybe he's getting tools and support he needs to make it good, because they can be janky in like the case of Elden Ring and stuff like that. So
yeah, wow, that must be really immersive if you can make it play well.
I mean, the Cyberpunk one worked pretty good, but it's hacking something together with the mod. I feel like if they're able, what I mostly want is I kind of don't want to play with controller or mouse and keyboard. It would be nice to have native hand controller pushes. So yeah, I think you could really do that with this game.
Pretty curious about it. Just watching it makes me want to play more of it. I do love that game. One of the great co-op games.
Playing it on VR headset.
Yeah, he's actually doing. I think it's the guy.
Probably he's got a mouse and keyboard. Okay, but that's fine. You know what? Not all VR games need to be stand up and punch your walls kind of experiences. I'm perfectly okay with Squadrons. I think out of all the experiences, Squadrons was the most immersive from a sit down perspective. Like, I really felt like you're in the ship and you can look up around. It was great. I'm sure Elite Dangerous is good, but man, Deep Rock Galactic. It's just a game I want to play, and these things require friends, and I don't want to be the call-out guy, but like, we need to find some time to game together, you guys.
I agree.
Get into it as much.
When we played Demio, I was like, oh yeah, right, playing games with friends more. I missed that, and then
we have a good time just talking shit and playing games.
That's great.
So.
It's totally great. Well, back to this V thing, real quick here.
Yeah,
this conversation may have convinced me because now I was really on the fence because I'm like, I don't want to. Well, okay, this review here. Listen to this. This guy who's playing a bunch of it says a lot of people are referring to this game as Vampheim, and it's a nice buzzword, but I don't think it adequately gets across the actual core of what the game is. It says, yes, you need to eat food to survive. Yes, you need to craft and build, and yes, there are bosses to fight that give you increased power or gains as you beat them, and yes, those bosses are farmable, but the combat is way better. The game has PvP as a core design element. The building is not as good as it is in Valheim. Specifically, it isn't as open or customizable. The buildings do look very nice, but that's because they remove a lot of the freedom from Valheim. They also remove a lot of the stress of building. Overall, I think this game is incredible, and it's the best, quote, I am a vampire experience available in modern gaming, in my opinion. I don't know. He's kind of, I'm coming around. I was, for a while there, I was like, oh, this is just someone capitalizing on Valheim. I don't want to play, but maybe it's more than that. Or less
I'm really excited at the idea of playing it. I genuinely want this game.
It looks cool. Like just the combat itself, the abilities and the zipping around.
Yeah. Plus vampires are cool.
I'm gonna try it. I'm just like I'm short like $2 on my PayPal account right now.
Yeah. $2. Oh, you have $2 less than it costs. Is that what you're saying, or more?
Yeah, it's like Canadian $22.70. I feel like I'm asking for someone to give me $2.
I was gonna say
I'm not.
I was like, I'm not gonna finish this sentence.
I've already
I'm asking for money.
I've already spent lots of money on my VR purchase this month. Yeah, I'm missing $2.01 off the price.
I can hook you up. I'm gonna hook you up after the show.
No. It's fine. It's fine. I wasn't. That was my reason. I was gonna buy it. And I'm like, I'm short. So
you like to have money in a place, like you like the wallets and stuff, right? Like where you keep the cash on hand inside of a ecosystem like that. Like aren't you the one that was arguing for like put money in your? Oh, it's not you. Who am I thinking of?
No. I'm too. I don't have money anywhere.
No, it's.
I would wish for it to stay longer in my account, whatever any form of account.
I can't remember what it was. It was somebody I was making. It's not. You're right. It wasn't you. I was thinking it was you, but it was somebody who I was arguing with because I don't think it's great to put money in like a Steam wallet for no reason other than just have it in there. It's one thing if you got a return and it sits in there until you buy another game. That's fine. But like Nintendo has their wallet. I think that stuff's dumb because all you're doing is giving them money to earn interest on that you could just be earning interest on. Like, put it in your own bank, and why give them money?
Oh, yeah.
So, but that wasn't.
We make that about we talk about that with pre-orders, right?
Yeah. Same. Yeah, and that might be why I thought it was you, but it's someone else.
It might be me. It might be me, but it's the pre-orders thing.
Yeah.
Like I keep money in my PayPal account. I'm not like, God damn, PayPal's making interest on my money.
Yeah.
Although it's a fair point. You don't think you earn interest in PayPal, so keeping your money in there isn't really a hot.
It's not
idea.
a bank. No, it's
you
secure.
You could make a whole 0.5% if you give it a savings account.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It'd be rich. All right. Well, anyway, old world coming to everything else. That's the main point there. Yeah. There also we learned this week there are 4 SteamWorld games being worked on right now.
Yeah.
We knew about one because it kind of teased some animation from Headhunter back. I don't remember when this was. Whatever, one of the showcases, and we know very little about that except it sounds great, and we know it's third person and it's action.
It's a turn-based tactical shooter / strategy game.
Oh, what?
What's it called?
I'm in.
Which game is this?
Wait, is Headhunter a turn-based tactical shooter?
Oh wait, no, it isn't. I read that wrong in the article.
I don't think we know yet what Headhunter is, but so here's what they have going. They're making Headhunter, whatever it is, third-person action game is all they'll say about that. Yeah. Then they've got a city-building game in that world, a turn-based tactical shooter.
That sounds awesome.
It does sound
I want
awesome.
A city builder in the SteamWorld universe. That sounds cool as hell.
100% agree. And then a puzzle game. And this kind of fits them because this is what they do. They made a Metroidvania with Dig and Dig 2. They made an XCOM-like, albeit in sort of 2D, but they did that with Heist. And then the Gilgamesh thing is their card battle deal.
I mean, that's what they're doing. This is what these guys do. They just sit around going, hey, what about SteamWorld Dig, the freaking Tetris ripoff? I don't know. Whatever. But I'm fine with it because I really like their games. I think they're incredibly quality experiences, and I'm all for whatever the hell they do. So they're all codenamed right now. So the turn-based tactical shooter strategy thing is codenamed Caramel. That comes out in 2024. The puzzle game is called Strawberry. Comes out in 2023. And
that's
it's playing,
supposedly a mobile game.
Yeah, it's a mobile game, some kind of puzzle game. And then Coffee is the city builder. So whatever that is, that'd be cool.
I could go for Coffee. That sounds like what I want.
Yeah, I want some coffee
out of them.
Yeah,
like,
Coffee sounds great.
As cool as Headhunter looks, because I saw some footage of that. Coffee sounds cool as hell.
Yeah.
I like just building their weird machines and like, it's going to be a cool looking city. And that sounds awesome to me.
Yeah. I love this sort of weird Western steampunk thing they got going. It's totally my jam. What I can't tell is how soon we're going to get into this because they're very vague about that, but we have years at least. So there's that. And I need to finish the Gunk because that's their one non-SteamWorld game they've made, I think. I think everything else has been SteamWorld related. Anyway, moving on to this story. So King has a diversity tool. I hate this story, but I think it's important we bring it up.
Have you seen this?
I did. So Activision Blizzard King, they have a tool basically that just says, hey, how diverse is this character we've just put in this game or whatever, or to build characters, they use this to create this diversity or whatever. Instead of just hiring people with diverse backgrounds and lives that they could maybe contribute to the conversation, they instead have this dumb tool that looks like some kind of AI thing. And I don't like it.
Yeah, there's an algorithm behind it. It isn't just a pretty infographic that they've made or work on. This is software for measuring the scale of diversity for their characters to ensure that their products contain representation for minorities and marginalized groups, and story body types and story background types and stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to bring it up either, but this just has to be dunked on, like resoundingly dunked on.
So dumb.
And it's saddens me that Blizzard continues to bring out the hits here, but it really reminded me, and I posted a cryptic tweet that wasn't very obvious, I don't think, about what it was about. That phrenology was a thing, right? You could, by the bumps on your head, you could tell traits about your personality, and in the end it was used to rationalize slavery. And in this, that's from more of a scientific pseudoscience bullshit perspective, but this is pseudoscience bullshit as well, because I just want to express in reading this that you may look at a person and see diversity because it's different than you, but a Latin person doesn't think of themselves as diverse. They're themselves. You know what I mean? Like, this is like this literally reinforces otherization, not the opposite. Like, ensuring that you have people labeled as others in your product reinforces the normal standard. It does the opposite of what you think it does, and it's very obvious for everyone to see just how you shove your foot so far in your mouth you're choking on your kneecaps.
Well, and that's the other point I wanted to make sure we didn't miss here. They're trying to do a little bit of damage control about it right now, but I think it's interesting every time they post anything about it in this big long blog they put on the official Activision Blizzard site, they keep referring to it as King's diversity space tool. This is something King made. King did it. Hey, everybody, guess what King made?
Yeah, except all their Overwatch characters are plastered all over.
Overwatch, the people on the Overwatch team have. I thought I've read stuff to the effect that this was made by other people and are not actually used by the creatives. This was like, the marketing. Like, we need to reach new demographics, so let's make sure our products conform to like. And I think it's got legs enough that they thought it would be a good idea to announce to the world that they've uncovered a new pseudoscience. Like, there's already low trust in things like Google and Twitter because of search algorithms.
Yeah.
The last thing we need is a race, gender algorithm to ensure products are palatable for people. People want truth. They want relatability. And truth can come from any body shape, any sexual orientation, any skin color. And everyone's truths are a little different. But when someone's being genuine versus not genuine, aka this, I mean, it's garbage. And I can't. It just shows you how like bad it is inside that whole overall company, that they are so out of touch that they would release something like this. Because again, people who are of different cultures than you, and if you're white or if you're straight or if you're a man, all right, they are not others. We're all just people with different experiences. And this like puts a big thick label of like you're an exotic person because you have black skin, like, you know, not normal. And it's like, everyone's normal. The point is everyone's normal. And so, yes, they should just hire creators of different experiences to help inform and tell interesting stories and make interesting products. This is not the way to do it. This is a racist idea of,
I don't like it,
of solving these things.
I think they probably, I don't want to assume anything other than somebody somewhere may have had perfectly good intentions for this. Okay, so before you email us and go, nobody can win and it doesn't matter what anyone does, they may have had perfectly good, like they really wanted to make a difference. I think it was wrong-headed, but maybe they didn't know that or whatever. Let's just say that for a second. But what they ended up making was what you would make for RPG character generation. But in that scenario, let's say an AI or some kind of algorithm says, well, we're going to put this much into strength, this much into int. We're going to put a little bit of this over here and make sure they've got a good hit rate or whatever. You can picture that as one of these charts of like, this arrow pushes pretty far into strength because he's a big guy with an axe, and because of that he's kind of dumb, so he doesn't blah, blah, blah. We're used to that. Gamers get that in these fake worlds with fake racial tensions, fake BS magic versus strength versus warriors versus wizards. Like, we get that this sort of thing makes sense in that arena. I feel like they had a thing that's normally a game tool and they turned it around on real human beings to make better game characters, but they still base it on like real people. That's the mistake. It's just an effed up.
It's in the vector of measurement. So everything, if strength in Dungeons and Dragons, if it's low, you're weak. If it's high, you're strong.
Right.
So everything here is on a measurement of, if you are normal, it's low. So if you're straight, then you have low gender diversity. Mm-hmm. Are you gender fluid and lesbian? Oh, boom, 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 boom. You have 8 out of 10. Like, what? Like, what are your dice rolls for your sexual orientation?
Exactly.
Your racial.
Exactly.
So like it's putting it on a scale of normal to extreme unnormal. Like, who's that spicy Latina who likes to shoot the piñatas at people? And it's like, oh, that's very diverse. Let's put it's so in bad taste. Right? Like that's what this is. Like, it's comically bad. It's like super villain bad. I cannot underscore it. Like, I don't want to jump on the bandwagon of bouncing Blizzard, but like this kind of stuff, I'm mainly concerned about the Blizzard side of things. I'm sure there are people internally who feel this way as well. Reflects so badly on the company. It's just.
Well, there were tweets. There were people really internally upset about this. I can't remember the exact tweet, but there were people saying like, it really bothers me that no matter how hard we work, how much we try to do better, someone at the corporate level is going to do something like this and poison all the goodwill that we're trying to create. And like, so I don't think they like it. And I would be extra pissed if I was working there and this was the kind of stuff that was coming out, because this, especially coming from, Activision Blizzard King at a time where they're going through what they're going through. It's like the equivalent of like, if you had a creepy guy in the office and everyone was like, we got to do something about the creepy guy in the office. He's just unnerving everybody. It's a real problem. And you went up to him and you went like, hey, Richard, I got to tell you, you're kind of just giving off a weird vibe to everybody, making everybody uncomfortable. We need to We need to do something about it. And the next day you came in and he had put together a 250-page memo on why he was not creepy and why he was, in fact, just a cool dude and they should all be okay with him, and then changed his shoes and was like, there, solved. Be like, no, you made it worse.
Yeah.
250 pages on why you're not creepy? This is creepy behavior.
Yeah,
this is not good.
weird.
This is trying something wrong.
If you got to explain the punchline, it's not a funny joke. And if you got to release this and then release a giant press release rationalizing it, you know it's bad.
Yeah. And in fact, they keep throwing King under the bus is hilarious to me, because they really are. Yeah. They're saying, well, it's a King's tool. The headline, literally, King's diversity space tool. It's like, not ours.
I noticed that too. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really trying to give King
they're all the same. They're all the same little group of companies there, my friend.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody, I mean, I have to admit, through all of this mess from last summer, especially and forward, I never really lump King into it, even though they're there. You know, they're part of this. I think there's a strategy here for them to like throw this at King, because no one's thinking about King anyway. We're all thinking about Blizzard. For us, we're
By the way, King's sexist too, guys.
Yeah. Those Candy Crush people, they're the worst.
I think we're bad. You should see what's going on in that third of the company.
It's very odd. I don't like it. Hopefully I don't know what they're going to do. Whatever. They're going to do whatever they're going to do, and we'll talk about it when they do. So it's fine.
It's just, listen, guys, I want to play your games. I like your games. I want to be an enjoyer of Blizzard products. Stop making it impossible.
Just fix your shit. And again, this may be mostly it's clearly a corporate level thing, because it spans all the companies and it came from King, and other people push it or whatever. I don't think some dev on the freaking WoW team has anything to do with this. So as usual, it's those people trying to make cool games and just do their jobs who get swept up in the bullshit just as bad as, I don't think they're as happy. They're no happier than we are about this.
Yeah. Well, it needs to be said loud and proud, because sometimes we hate things and they get adopted, as standards, and I just hate to see that happen. So.
Oh, can you imagine if that'd be so bad for this business?
I mean, we complain about microtransactions in mobile gaming all the live long day. It doesn't slow it down. So everyone could take their shots at it. Meanwhile, game developers are like, oh, we could use that algorithm to make sure we're marketing our games successfully to people. Yeah, people don't hate it, so let's not talk about it, but this is actually a good tool.
Yeah. This is there's a whole aspect of the science of computer bias, AI bias, and algorithmic bias that we don't even know is there, because you just don't know you're putting it in there.
Well, to an engineer, everything's an engineering problem.
Right. It's a real thing, though. There's some fascinating stuff.
It sometimes it's not, but
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
to someone who thinks that, who can problem solve in a very narrow band.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things where it's like it doesn't apply.
Yeah.
You can't engineer your way out of being it's not thinking the right way. It's having the right perspective on your fellow human beings. It's not an engineering problem. It's an education problem.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's all King's fault. All right, moving on. Just kidding. They just make it sound like it is. Let's get to this week's Dear Martha Retro Magazine Letters Review. This is exciting because it's from GamePro issue 69.
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
April
1995. I remember that year. John, any setup here? Anything special?
I got 3 letters and 3 responses. They're all pretty short today.
Let's start with number 1.
My dearest Martha, what does the Aura Interactor really do? Does it let you feel everything that's going on in a game? For instance, if I'm playing Mortal Kombat 2 while wearing the Interactor, would I feel it when I get uppercuts? Yours in this life and the next, Jan V.
I'm guessing no. I'm guessing the answer to that is no. But let's find out what
Martha responds.
Martha responds. Here you go.
My dearest Jan, when you wear the Interactor, $99, you're basically wearing a powerful audio speaker strapped to your back. It vibrates with bass sounds that pound along your spine. You won't feel an uppercut snap your head back. Yours forever, Martha.
Wow, a real commitment from Martha at the end. I like that. All right. Excellent work. We have number 2 here. Here you
go. My dearest Martha, in Super Empire Strikes Back for the SNES, why are there snow troopers in Bespin? They weren't in the movie. Yours in this life and the next, Daniel T.
Why would Martha know?
I don't know why that's so funny to
me. Martha needs to answer this.
Yeah, Martha needs to answer. Let's find out what she says.
My dearest Daniel, maybe snow troopers weren't in the Cloud City, but stormtroopers certainly were. Stormtroopers in various uniforms appear throughout Bespin in both the game and the movie. Yours forever, Martha.
Wow.
Real nothing answer, Martha.
Yeah.
She just avoided it.
I feel like Martha didn't really want to answer that question.
This was your platform to talk about reused assets, Martha, but you didn't do it.
Yeah. The mistake was asking Martha in the first place.
Yeah. Martha never is really going to... Martha GamePro, Martha John GamePro, or whatever her name was back then. She doesn't know things.
Martha John.
Here's her... I don't know why I said John. I meant Joanne.
John
but yeah, it's weird.
No, why not? Martha John. I mean, I made out with a Bobby.
Whoa.
Bobby Joe.
Yeah.
It could be a girl's name, apparently.
Yeah, totally can. Yeah. Bobby can.
I didn't know that, and then it made it strangely more exciting.
It's usually an I at the end, but yes, you can find Bobby's.
I never got to see it spelled. It was a temporary arrangement, or it was a short-lived arrangement.
I see. All right, we got one more, right, John?
One more.
Here it comes.
My dearest Martha, I've been playing and reading about Sonic and Knuckles. One question. What's an echidna? Yours in this life and the next, Sean S.
Oh, wow. Actually, I don't know this very well either, so we're going to find out with Martha's reply.
My dearest Sean, echidna is the name for the kind of animal that Knuckles is. These long-nosed, egg-laying mammals are native to Australia and are also called spiny anteaters. Yours forever, Martha.
I think I open up Encarta, do a quick search on what was going on in '95 with enchiladas or what are they called? How do you say it?
Enchiladas?
Enchilada? What is it?
Echidnas.
Echidna.
Echidna?
I fully admit that back in the day when we were introduced to Knuckles, I never knew how to say that right. So I just said echidna or echidna or something.
I don't know that I said it right. I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, I think you got it right today, as far as I know. Echidna.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, who even knows? There's no way to find out. You have to write to GamePro if you want these answers. That's the follow-up question. My dearest Martha.
Yep.
How do you say echidna?
And they're still around, so get in touch. No, they're not. That's not true. Not in a physical way. Maybe they're still around in like a digital way.
Shoveling.
Actually, I don't know. Do you think they're around? GamePro, what are they doing? Hold on. GamePro Magazine. Can I get that today?
a magazine.
A magazine.
Let's see.
Is it a magazine or a magazine?
Mr. Magazine. Where did you come from? From your blood.
Oh,
like Trump MAGA. Like Make America Great Again zine. Magazine.
Oh, don't give them ideas, man.
Oh, final issue, winter of 2011. Oh, they're gone. And that's a long run.
Look at that. Aussie checking in. John said it right. All right, look at that.
33 years ago that magazine started. Jeez Louise. World. Okay, let's move on. Oh, we got to talk about the games we played.
Right now.
We got a few. That's wrong. There we go. Okay, quick update on the core chore front. Okay. Escape Simulator. Been playing that with my daughter on stream. It's awesome. If you like escape rooms, that game is great. We've really enjoyed that so far. And our next attempt, our attempt is to clear all the stuff that's, built into the game. But eventually we were going to mess around with some like creator stuff, and apparently you can go nuts in there. So we're going to keep playing that. It's very good. But not much else to say about it since last week, because it's still the same game. Bakery Simulator. Remember when I told you guys on the show that the problem with that game was it made you deliver your freaking baked goods after you were done making them, and how annoying it was.
Delivered your feedback to the developer.
Apparently it worked. Well, yeah. I'm sure it wasn't just me. A lot of people didn't like it because the baking part, they've got it solid. It's good. It plays like one of these games is supposed to. It's real good. The minute you drive, it's terrible. It takes you out of it. It's just not good. So they removed that. And now, after this latest patch, when I'm done with my big box of muffins and I go to exit the door, instead of it putting me in a car and telling me where to go, it just comes up and says, order delivery. And then you say yes. And if you give them a full tip, you'll have a 100% chance that there'll be no issues while the stuff's getting there. If you don't tip them well, then there's some percentage chance that they could lose part of the order or take it to the wrong place or something weird like that. So it's still a little fuzzy on how it works.
It has been my experience that it does not matter how much tip you give. There's always going to be a problem.
Yeah, that has been mine as well. But it works fine. It's kind of what I asked for. Just give me a delivery service and then send them on their way. And then I get the money and then I make more stuff. And I was able to upgrade and move my kitchen to a bigger space. And I got these big giant dough separators that cost me like 10 grand.
It's more time to do what you want to do in that game.
Yeah. I came here to bake, not drive. Okay. I don't even bake in real life, but I drive in real life. I don't need that in this game. Also, there's plenty of other better driving games out there. Anyway, so that's the update on that. The other update I wanted to mention, that we talked about top of the show, House Flipper Pets DLC came out. They sent me a code. Big thanks to the devs for that. I don't have my head around completely how this is going to go, but there are some custom quests now. That lady talking was part of that.
Yeah, you get to interact with a real entitlement engine of a human being.
Yeah, this lady.
I have sailed the oceans.
Look at me. I've done everything cool.
When I'm not sailing around on my yacht, I like to think about how bad I am at menial labor, so I'm going to have you do it for me. Also, I hid a dog somewhere in the house. Please don't kill it and keep it forever.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And she's got this rabbit. I have a clip at the end of the show that I'll play that talks about the rabbit. But anyway, it's fine. It's more of this stuff you do in House Flipper. Also, their DLC's on sale, so I bought the $10. It's like really fancy houses, like really expensive stuff. It's supposed to be really good DLC, so I'm gonna mess with that. These guys are they keep making a great game better. So, hats off to the House Flipper folks. Speaking of instead of building things, instead of doing that, you tear things down in a game called Teardown, which I know John owns. It's out of early access now, and decided I would hop in there and see how things were looking. That's a great game.
I love Teardown.
It's amazing.
Teardown is super cool.
It's amazing. They added so much stuff since I last checked in, like weapons and items and ways of destroying things, and so you can spawn in freaking mechs that want to kill you and make your own maps and do your own kind of weird sandboxy shit. That is a very cool game and deserves its overwhelmingly positive reviews. You're going to need a beefy machine because you can do enough craziness in that thing to even slow down the best of them. Like there's so much shit you can do, and it's all voxel based, so every single voxel is getting tracked, and the destruction stuff and the physics are really cool. But just know your computer, you're going to want to beef things up if you can. I bet Bo would play really good on Bo's, but it's fun.
It's a surprising. You look at it and you're like, well, this looks like a very pretty. Like Minecraft is doing it a disservice. There's a lot of little boxes, but they make a prettier overall picture. You're like, this isn't going to be too bad. And then I started it up. I haven't played it since I got the new video card, but I started it up originally. I just heard my computer go, and I was like, oh no, I didn't think this game was going to do anything to it, but it's unhappy.
Yeah, my fans definitely sped up the other day when I ran it, but it ran really well, and they fleshed out that campaign, so there's tons to do. But you can also just go screw around if you want and blow stuff up. Hucking a million grenades at things and just watching destruction happen is really satisfying. There's even
Is it multiplayer?
I don't know if there's a co-op or something in there.
No, it's just single player. I'm just checking the Steam.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's a single developer. This guy's some kind of mad genius. I wouldn't be surprised if he has some plans for something like that, because I could see this game being very fun in multiplayer. It could be a really good. Even just
I think
a sandbox.
all the location data for everything might be a little much.
Yeah.
Considering the level of simulation it's going for.
Yeah, especially considering instead of it tracking big slabs of polygon, it's tracking maybe even a slab, but it's made up of all these voxels, which are small squares like John described. And there's no way that's easy to track all that. There's no way, especially if you're trying to send data, net
maybe
code
local, maybe local.
Yeah,
split screen style, maybe.
Real good though. Highly recommend it. Very explosive fun. I love it. Rogue Legacy 2, still playing that. Having a great time. Unlock some new stuff. I feel like that game's got a lot to offer for $15 or whatever it is, $19. There's so much in there. Just an amazing game. But I've talked a lot about it enough. I did want to mention a brand new meeting game. Okay. I like to bring these up whenever there's a good, you're on a Zoom call or something that's real boring and you're not even the one mainly talking. You're just sort of waiting for people to make decisions or whatever. You're looking for a good game, just kind of have off in the corner. I think I've talked about the game maybe before, but because it landed on Apple Arcade this week, it reminded me I had it on Steam, so I fired it up and played it there.
I own this game.
Yeah, I think I talked about it, maybe talked you into it before.
Yeah, you did. I bought it because of you.
Yeah, it's called Roundguard, and it's Peggle, but with roguelike plus, RPG mechanics. That's hard to explain.
And D&D stuff.
And D&D stuff, yeah. And there's a ton of classes. You'd love John will only play the rogue. The rogue is OP, I swear, in this game.
Yeah, the rogues usually are. It's what they do. There's a reason I like rogues. They're the best.
Yeah, but it's basically Peggle. If you have Apple Arcade, play it there. It plays great. If you have it on, I think previous to this, you could buy it on mobile. It's also good on there. It was never like a free-to-play game. But the Steam version, all the versions are good. It's just a very good one of these. And I feel like I haven't played enough good Peggle takes since Peggle 3, I guess. And this is a really good one of those, but it's got a lot of depth and interesting stuff to it in terms of like gear you're picking up and new weapons all the time. And you can swap gear in and out. You can get new abilities that let you do crazy shit later down the road. And it kind of has a map, kind of like the overworld's a little bit like playing Slay the Spire or something, where it's random every time you do it, but you're like, all right, well, if I fall into this hole, that's going to take me up this path, and I got to fight these guys. And by fight those guys, I mean it's a big Peggle screen with skeletons or whatever, goblins or other stuff that's intersprinkled in here, but also a bunch of pots full of gold, also some health potions and mana potions that you're trying to hit. And it's that physics Peggle thing. And it's freaking great. Oh, the only recommendation I would have is turn up the speed because it feels a little floaty on normal and slow. But if you turn up the game speed, which is an option in there, it feels right. You just got to. I think they just want people to ease their way in and not feel overwhelmed.
Yeah, I was going to say it looks like Peggle.
Yeah, plays like Peggle too.
Yeah. Okay.
The difference is between, say, Peggle and this. Peggle, you just like put the ball in and hope for the best, right? Or shoot the thing you think you're going to hit, and then hope for some good physics to land your way.
Yeah.
There's some of that in this, but this also features things like the main warrior character. One of his abilities is you can fire him into a bunch of obstacles that would normally make him bounce off of them, but he has this ability to like swing his axe, and it will make him tear through a bunch of obstacles. Because maybe you want him to get through that layer and into whatever's down there, like a bad guy or something. That's
actually a cool idea.
It's
on the
neat.
Peggle formula.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's a really neat game.
But the one thing is this is an important question: is 90% of the joy of Peggle is after you clear the level, it goes da 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 da. So how is the celebration of finishing a level?
It does pretty good. So the guy will
not as good. Though.
It's not as good, but it's pretty good. So let's say you fire him toward your final enemy, and it's all going normal speed. You get bullet time zoom in, so it goes, and it comes up and it goes, boosh, and then he gets like rainbow butt or whatever, and the music does crescendo. It's not that.
Okay,
but
good.
It's not bad.
Well. It's not the same music, but it needs that level of like that was the thing about Peggle. It's like bloom, 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 and then it's this overblown celebration.
Yeah.
And I always loved it. I always loved that about Peggle.
You get the slow down the drum roll and then Oh yeah, joy and fireworks.
They do.
That was so well done and iconic at the time.
They do replicate it without looking like they're lifting it, I should say. So they do a pretty good job, I think.
All right.
Roundguard's cool.
I think every game should lift it. I think that's how every stage of every video game should end.
Just all with the ode to joy and fireworks.
There's a YouTube series you could do, the Peggle ending for various video games, and just add. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's not bad.
So like Doom, when you go to punch the button, do slow motion, do the drum roll. He punches it. Ode to joy. Fireworks come up.
Yeah, you could do it with
Play Ode to Joy.
Mortal Kombat.
It's super out of play. Like it's so it's like laugh tracks at a sitcom, right? Like, there's a fictional world. It's got unicorns and things. Then it's just random music you recognize from the real world, just like dropped right into the game.
I like that idea. I think every game should have it. I want to play Mortal Kombat.
It could be like there's a YouTube series that does every movie ending, but at the end it plays Walk of Life instead of the normal. You've seen that, right?
No.
So
but I can imagine it.
Basically do Walk of Life movie ending, and it's basically a lot of movies, not every movie, but almost any movie you can find, and they just replace the ending of the movie with Walk of Life,
and it works. Yeah,
I mean,
it
tone a bit.
It works. It works in that
it's pretty good.
Yeah, and it works in that it fits. Maybe in a discordant way, but fits.
Yeah, because it has that real iconic intro that I'm not going to try and sing it, but you know what I'm talking.
All right,
about,
so I'm thinking of some here. I was thinking of Mortal Kombat. You're pulling off somebody's spine and head. It would zoom in. Bloosh. And you have like fireworks and blood everywhere. I'm with you. This is a great idea. Yeah. Let's make this happen with all our extra time that we have.
Yeah, we've got so much. We'll do a successful YouTube meme.
Speaking of that, let's
by the
jump.
way, breaking news.
Oh,
it's
no.
Not really that important.
Beep, 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 beep,
are you done with? Are you done your games?
Yeah, my games are done. We're going to go to John next, but let's hear this breaking news.
Just breaking news because I just saw it. The makers of Genshin Impact have announced a new game.
Oh, I think we knew that a week ago or two.
But how did they fund it?
It says May 12th for the video. I was watching your thing. It was like the same day as we did our show last week. So okay, old news, but it's breaking for me. I didn't know.
It's some sci-fi deal, right?
It's like a cyberpunk anime thing called Zenless Zone Zero.
Yeah. Zen Zone Zero.
I don't know anything about it, and I didn't watch it with the audio on, but I definitely, their animation is great.
It is good.
So if they actually make a game I can play, I would be probably playing it. So
there it is. Zenless. Yeah, you're right. Zenless Zone Zero is kind of a stupid name, I have to admit, though. Like Genshin Impact.
So is Genshin Impact, but yeah.
Well, at least it rolled kind of off the tongue. Zenless Zone Zero sounds like John impressing us with his lip twisters or whatever they're called.
All right. Yeah. I'm not going to stick up for it, but
not lip twisters.
Tongue
twisters. That's it.
But you know what, Scott? You said it with such confidence. I just wanted to believe.
Like one of the characters looks like a bear with a Ryu outfit on and a giant rocket launcher. So I kind of like that. Like I don't know. Again, a lot of sizzle with the Genshin Impact stuff, so it's very sizzly.
You like where I don't know, they make a cool game.
I would be playing Genshin Impact if it wasn't the freemium you can't play anymore until you buy space crystals.
Yeah.
I love the way that game looks. I think it's one of the best looking games I've ever seen. It's really neat. Just is very pretty. Yeah. I want to play it, but I don't want to give them $60 and play a game. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
I can skip the gacha stuff, or even just pay a little bit and be okay with it. But you literally cannot do content. You run out of energy for content and have to give them money to play the game.
I hate that. Yeah. My least favorite mechanic in mobile games. So hold on a second, John. You said earlier, kind of in a way that clearly was tongue in cheek, but would you say? However, did they afford making it? How did they fund this game?
Fund it?
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
How'd they get that done? I wonder.
I guess they're making more money on Genshin Impact than I thought.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
I think they're billionaires. Let's talk about 40,000 years in the future. John cracked open Chaos Gate, Warhammer 40K Chaos Gate. You're only through the intro though. What do you think so far? What do you?
It's very pretty. I think I'll like it. I need to get used to it. I think it makes a mistake that a lot of video game tutorials make. this is by no means a condemnation of the game, but if you don't have a ton of time to play a game, you're only going to have really enough time to watch an intro cutscene, play a little bit, maybe a closing cutscene, which is all I had time for. You should have your tutorial not be a perfect step-by-step move here, do exactly this, do exactly this. Like, it teaches you all the mechanics. Like, it's a tutorial. That's what it's there for. But like, it's impossible to not compare this game to XCOM, where the tutorial for XCOM, you can completely fail that. Like, you can mess it up. They'll still teach you how to play the game, but you can win, you can lose, you can have people die, you can have people get injured. Like, they give you enough freedom to make mistakes. Literally, it's go here, move this person here, now move this person here, now throw a grenade, shoot here, do Overwatch, and they like even tell you where to position the Overwatch like aiming. And it's not that it's terrible, because it is teaching you mechanics. It's just, it was boring as hell, and I don't feel like I learned the game because I was just like, okay, line up the thing with the thing they told me to. And by the time I was done with it and the game was opening up, I was like, well, I'm kind of tired and the baby's waking up, so I think I'm done. So I didn't have a great first experience. It sounds cool. It looks cool. It looks like a very competent one of those, and I love that style of game. But I don't feel like I got to do anything. I feel like I just had somebody tell me where to click for, 15 minutes, and that wasn't the most fun 15 minutes of my life.
I agree. The tutorial, the other thing is, the sad truth is, when you get past all of that, you'll realize, it plays exactly like XCOM, so you almost didn't need the tutorial. Like, you would have intuited everything that game does. It's not like
it doesn't do anything crazy different.
No, there's a couple of tweaks, but it's not like, even right down to what buttons are used, or what keyboard keys or what controller buttons are used for things are just straight out of that XCOM control scheme. So you'll be fine, but you should keep going. I really want to get your take on the minute to minute, because I think it's pretty good. It's pretty strong. I played that some this week too. I just didn't want to rehash.
Yeah, I think it looks good, and I'm hopeful. So I'm not trying to be too sour. It's just, unfortunately, all I had time for was the intro, and it was not the best intro to a video game I've ever played.
No, but it's got cool voices and stuff, and then those weird faces.
It does have cool voices,
and
a cool demon.
Yeah,
the faces are bad.
The faces are bad,
especially the old man. Like, he's real droopy.
Yep.
But
he's Warcraft 3 Uther, man. That's what that guy is.
There's even an Uther in the game. There was a point where someone's like, deal with it, Uther. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's here. He showed up.
When you least expect it, Uther shows up. You never know when that's going to happen. All right.
Spend your coins in the store. Remember when that was our thing?
Oh, yeah.
We used to do that a lot.
I see you're entering Overwatch. Would you like to buy a cooler cone from the Blizzard store?
Yeah. That's the guy. Remember, he was everybody's guy.
He's our salesman for the Heroes store.
That's
back
right.
in the day.
Yep, he was in all that stuff. That whole initial tutorial was him just telling you what to do with Raynor. Weird.
I cannot follow you down this path, Arthas. I'll be back at the coffee shop where you can buy scones for under $1.
Oh man, inflation has come fast. $1 is a pretty good deal. All right, let's move on to your Final Fantasy VII progress. You were raving about all those mods and stuff. How's
playing
that
60 frames?
I'm playing 60 frames now. It's beautiful. If you click that link, you'll get to see it. It looks so much better.
I want to see how beautiful
this game. Put 5 mods on it, and it is pretty, and it is pristine, and I love how it looks, and I love how it plays. And I got out of Midgar, and I'm now out in the open world. I think I'm now past where the remake story has concluded, and I think I'm almost up to where I think the furthest I've ever played. It's been a long time, but I'm still seeing stuff that I vaguely remember seeing at one point. Like, I remember seeing the iconic Sephiroth walking through the fire scene, like playing the game. So I know I've been this far before.
Yeah, Midgar is a really long section. Your Buster Sword, though, really, I guess that's not the Buster Sword.
That's not the
quite yet.
Buster Sword. Yeah, that's his first
I was like,
upgrade.
it looks a little weird, but okay, yeah, I forgot he has different sword styles. So,
yeah.
It's so weird not seeing jittery, crusty
it looks
edge
great,
graphics.
Man.
Yeah,
it looks weird. It actually is an improvement.
It's a proper remaster, is what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the community remastered a game for Square. How nice.
They did a good job too, because boy, it really has turned me around on the experience. Like the first day streaming it, I was like, oh, I'm going to be playing this game for so long, and I'm having so little fun with this experience.
I think, and there's no speed through battles, right? So you're probably looking at 60 to 100 hours.
It's gonna be a long time investment. I saw somebody else who was playing it, and I was kind of watching. I was like, they did it, and like they're near the end, and they're only on episode 11. And then I looked at their play times, and they're playing it for like 5 to 6 hours at a time, whereas I'm doing 1 to 2. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be a long playthrough.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a lot for me. So
be there a while.
I'm gonna be spending a long time playing this game.
You haven't played it before, right?
I've played bits and pieces. Like I said, I think I've played up to this part, but not a full playthrough. No.
Such a good experience. The only part that's not is maybe spending too long in Gold Saucer. Because the song just plays. But
let me tell you about a little game called Final Fantasy XIV, where I spend too much time in the Gold Saucer and it does nothing but play that song, and I'm okay with it.
Okay, well, you'll be going more for that because it's actual game. The MSQ goes through Gold Saucer. Right? Spoilers.
Okay.
There's a big Gold Saucer section, so yeah.
Bo, are you tempted to rerun this thing with these mods? Do you feel the drag?
Absolutely. I mean, I've always thought about playing again, but now with the mods there, it's just this is a one of a kind kind of game. Like they nailed melodrama in a video game for the first time ever, as far as I'm concerned. In this game.
Oh, how do these? You're playing this. I'm looking right now. The motorcycle road rash section of that game. How's that play these days? Is that...
like chaotic? Playing that at 60 frames per second, you can tell they were not expecting you to be able to do it at that speed.
Yeah,
because I was just like all over the road, but it was fun. I had a great time with it. Like it was a very fun little mini game right in the middle of it, and had a fine time just smacking people around and slamming into them, trying to hit him with my sword.
It was so cool when it happened. Like you're already blown away at the time by the new Final Fantasy experience, and then you get on a motorcycle. I was like, oh my god!
Yeah, it was huge. Awesome. It was huge back then. This stuff.
This game was. It was such an important game. It was so big when it came out.
Yeah, well,
so cool.
I'd love to hear people at home too. Have we talked a bunch of people at home into doing like John, loading up the mods and going for it? I'd love to hear from you.
The mods make it so good. I mean, the new models for the characters are they just look so good. They based it on the official art for the characters, and I'm amazed at how good they look in like the fights and stuff like that. So it really did.
Did you have limit breaks yet?
For me. I got limit breaks. And
how do they look in the new world? They fancy?
I mean, they have. I don't have any mods that have upped like the effects.
Oh shit! Knights of the Round. I wonder what it's gonna look like.
So I don't know, but
do you know about Knights of the Round?
I don't know.
I know about it. Yeah.
Like it's like a. So you cast it, and it's like a 20 minute, but it's like a 2-minute animation where all 12 Knights of the Round Table come and smack the crap out of the people you're casting. But it doesn't kill anything outright, so you mimic it and then cast it again. So a lot of fights are you casting this 2-minute animation like 8 times over for a full 30 minutes, just going Knights of the Round, Knights of the Round, Knights of the Round. and it looks so badass. At least at the time it was so badass. Bahamut is also a pretty sick animation as well.
Yeah, I don't have any summons or anything like that yet, so I'll let you guys know when I do. Although, Scott, if you want to scrub that video for a second, and try and find a spot where it goes to a cutscene, the weirdest part about playing the game with mods is how, usually when it goes to cutscene mode, you're like, oh, and like, oh, we're getting serious. But now, because of how sharp the models and the backgrounds and all of that are, when it switches to cutscene mode, all of a sudden the graphics just look like they turned a butt. And it's very, very funny.
Oh, because one of the pre-rendered, you mean the pre-rendered ones that are still video?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Let's see if I can find anything.
There should be one forward from this, because there's one where Sephiroth goes a little berserky.
Let's see if I can find it. That's his natural state, is berserky, right? That guy.
Well, I'll say this. I remember back when I played this the first time going like, yeah, Sephiroth, like what a edgy, cool bad guy he is. But like, I gotta tell you, nowadays where we spend a little more time with storytelling and getting into the pathos of the character, it seems like he goes absolutely berserk for no good damn reason. Like, it's really kind of not a lot that sets him off. He's just sort of like, am I not human? Was I created in a lab? And then he just reads books for a couple days and is like, well, I guess I'm gonna just kill everybody.
Like, well, we didn't really have big canonical villains in games to this extent at that time, right?
Yeah,
not really.
So this is the height of narrative gaming up to that point.
I think so. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something else that could take the reins of that. I don't think there was. I mean, Metal Gear,
like,
I guess.
You might look at, like, I'm sure the Baldur's Gate games, like, they were CRPGs.
Yeah.
But they weren't doing, like, crazy-ass movie style. They weren't reaching for the cinema the way Final Fantasy VII did. Like,
I would argue the Metal Gear, or Metal Gear Solid in particular, I think probably counts.
Oh, yeah, that one. And that's around the same era.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Metal Gear Solid. I would put Metal Gear Solid in there for sure.
Yeah.
And the cinema side of things as well.
Oh,
I mean, there were games that were trying, but like Final Fantasy had that cinema, but also just the scale of the game. It's such a long game too.
Yeah.
So not only was it amongst the best narrative experiences, but the longest.
You know what else I'd really hoped with the Sony announcement? I thought they were going to put that remake in the middle tier, and they didn't do it.
Yeah.
I wish they would have, at least PS4.
Well, we're about to get.
Oh, you haven't played
coming
remake,
up.
huh?
Coming up real soon. We're about to get some Final Fantasy announcements because we're about to hit an anniversary, and Square has said they're going to announce some stuff on that day. So we've got Final Fantasy 16 already announced. We should be getting a release date on that soon, and there's been rumors of Tactics being remade.
Ooh.
There's people obviously are curious what Remake 2 is going to be and when.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that it could potentially be, and I'm curious to find out.
Are there any Roman numerals that look like an N, an F, and a T? Do those exist?
Well, I mean, that was in the news as well, that Square is continuing to, even though the NFT market is crashing, they're like, oh, we're going to still research blockchain and NFT. We got a good feeling about this. Like, it's the definition of the dog surrounded by fire going, this is fine. Like, that's where they are.
I mean, I guess every company, whether they all admit it or say anything publicly, they're all looking at it. If that's all they're doing and they come to whatever conclusion, fine. But if they're really pushing to, like, make sure their big names end up in this mess, I don't know.
They should all have R&D or parts of their business that look at new technologies.
It'd be dumb not to. Sure. Yeah, it'd be dumb not to. Slay the Spire. I know you've been playing that a lot. And I'm really curious about what brought that on.
Have you played that before?
No. So this is the weirdest thing is I've played so many games. You just discovered
how awesome that game is?
Yes, I've played so many games based on this game, inspired by this game, pulling from this game, that you would say like, oh, it's really evolved Slay the Spire into something different, or it's this same sort of thing. And I got it while it was on sale, which was stupid because it's also on Game Pass, but sometimes you gotta throw money at a problem, I guess. And I was like, well, you know what? I should finally play this game. I should finally see what it's all about. It was on sale for very cheap. So I bought it and I was like, I'm gonna just play it and see how it is. And yeah, it turns out everybody talked about this game very positively for a good reason. This game's pretty damn good and addictive. And so,
it's still arguably the best of them.
I mean, I think there's an element of that. The only problem I'm having with it, and this is a very personal issue.
Stoner art. Oh no, not that.
No, even the art. I think because it's been talked down so much, I'm like, okay, it's fine. Like, it's not like, okay, this is stupid Snake. Like, okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. But I think the thing that is bugging me a little bit, and I said this to my wife today, I hate when you have to make a decision and it's like, okay, what negative effects am I going to live with for this one little positive? Because I said, right now, that's what my life feels like. Like, trying to manage a family and plan weekends is like, okay, what negative effects am I willing to take on for a single positive thing to happen in my day-to-day?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little too much reality when they're like, hey, you can have a relic. You're going to take 17 points of damage. I'm just like, oh, this is my life.
Yeah.
This is my life right now. I can't deal with this. But it's very, very good. I've slew the Spire with the warrior. I'm now playing the, I guess you'd call it the rogue, the poisony one. Yeah. And I haven't quite gotten there, although the game I was playing when we were starting the pre-show today is looking pretty good. Wow. I got a pretty good hand going. I'm feeling very strong about it. So
when you pop off and slay, it's really fun. And then what's worse is when you pop off and die, and you're like, no, we were so close to greatness.
Yeah.
It's
There's
and
a real
then you're like, let me
purity to
start
that
another
game.
run, and the next thing you know, it's 3 a.m, and you finally got the god run, and you want to do just one more. It also has ascension levels, so you can crank up the difficulty incrementally 15 times, which I would have done if there weren't so many games in the world, and you end up moving on. You have every intent of, I'm going to get to. I think maybe someone we know did ascension pretty high though, like Dan.
It may have been Dan.
Dan might have done it.
Yeah.
Tabletop man.
Yeah. He loved that game. He also loved Monster Train. He played the shit out of that.
Yeah, I know Kyle played a lot of it as well. I mean, looking at my friends list, just to out a bunch of people, Kyle's got 70 hours played. Bo's got 73.
In Monster Train?
Oh, no, in Slay the Spire.
Oh, I played a ton of Slay the Spire. It's a great game.
It's probably Dan. He's got 134 hours in this game.
Oh, yeah, he played a lot.
Probably Dan.
No.
He's got a lot of time in it.
The sort of problem with all the other games, they're good. Tainted Grail and Griftlands, Rogue Book, but they're obviously trying to make something marketable, so they have to put novelty in it, like gimmicks and things like that. And the core, I want to go through a dungeon, I want it randomized, I want it punishing, and I want good decks. Like, no one's made actually another Slay, and I find it a little irritating. Can someone make another one with better art, please? But make it like this game, and in a lot of ways, like, don't be that original. Like, just make a solid one of those. So.
I mean, that was like WoW for years. I still think what you're describing is really an admirable thing, because there's a purity to it that makes it almost perfect, and everybody else tries to riff on it, but they add something or take something away that lessens the experience. That's why I'm enjoying Rogue Legacy 2 so much, because I think Rogue Legacy and 2 now are really the epitome of the best that roguelikes were ever going to be. Like, they're just so good. And there's a million games that riff on them and go further and go different directions and do neat things for sure. But there's a purity about those experiences that just hasn't been improved. And I don't know how you do that, but you do it.
It's a roguelike Metroidvania in the Metroidvania, where like the JPEG battler, the Slay is like the JPEG battler version of that.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very, very good.
Yeah. So if you're like me and for some reason you ignored one of the most like raved about and then copied video games that ever existed, I highly recommend it. But I fully acknowledge that I am extremely behind on talking about Slay the Spire. Everyone's like, man, I played the hell of that game years ago, but I just discovered it and I'm hooked. Like, it's that game that I keep launching, even though I'm like, I should go do other things. I mean, that's why I only did the intro of Warhammer 40k, because I sat down to play that today and launched Slay the Spire first instead.
That's the other thing that happens. It's like there's a rhythm and a speed. It's not even that it's fast or anything. I mean, it is, I guess. But when a game like that gets under your skin, kind of like you were doing with Vampire Slayer, what was it called?
Vampire Survivors.
Survivors. You just, you've got an amazing game just waiting for you to crack it open and play. But you sit down and you go, Yeah, but I could just,
Yeah, but this will be open in seconds, and
Yeah.
I will have a very good time and feel very
It's just
rewarded.
everything's in the sweet spot mechanics wise. Like
Mhm.
it just really sings mechanically. Like you can a lot of variety and a lot of cool things you can do. There's a lot of interesting mechanics to defend against. They're not just hit point sacks. In a lot of games, it's just hit point sack. I would say the only other game that has really compelling mechanics is Grifflands. The mental battles.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The fighting battles are not that interesting. The mental part, the mental games, or the conversational battles are awesome. Yeah. So
Speaking
everything
of,
else is, you can add a lot of mechanics, but it feels like fluff, and it feels like kind of doesn't matter. It just really everything just works so well.
yeah, I was impressed by how simple it was. Like I was like, well, when's this going to become more complicated? And it really didn't. It didn't until you got a new deck, and then it's like, oh, I have to learn how something totally different plays now because I'm playing a different class. But that's cool.
Mhm.
That's where you expect it.
But you also unlock more cards the more you play. So
yeah.
As you play, you start to get cards that go, oh, wait, with this class, then I can do this with this card. Like, you start getting into Mad Sun, you're like, I hope I get this card on my run. You start taking chances by missing certain cards or going for money instead of cards to buy a card you want. It really, unlocking a lot of the card pool really expands the possibilities as well. It just works.
One thing that this conversation reminded me of, worth mentioning, Vampire Survivors, we've talked about it a lot, as a high recommend from us, is apparently coming to Game Pass, is what I heard.
Oh.
So if the couple bucks that it costs was still too much for you, it's coming to Game Pass. You can try it for free. And I did think it was funny the other day. I heard from our mutual friend, Tyler Lansdowne. And he sent me a message and said, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I usually am good with your recommendations. I looked at Vampire Survivors and started playing it and was like, what the hell is wrong with them? This game is awful. And then he said within a couple runs, he was like, it's one of my favorite video games.
Yeah.
Like he was immediately all on board. And I was like, that's what happens. It's the fact that the game starts you with the whip, which is like one of the most limiting, counterintuitive to how you're supposed to play that game, because you attack by like default, you're running away, and then the game's like, now go pick up what they dropped, and you're like, but that's where the enemies are. Like the game immediately makes you play the worst version of itself out of the gate, and I think for some reason that actually works to its benefit, because then as you get those upgrades, you appreciate it more. You're like, oh, but wait a minute, now I got this, now I can do this. And so you just feel infinitely cooler as it builds off of.
Yeah.
But yeah, those first couple minutes of that game, you're like, the hell did I just spend money on? Why am I doing this?
Yeah. But
the game looks like an insult to game developers around the world. Like when you just look at it.
But if you're telling
I can release a game too, and it's going to sell like crazy.
If you're telling me I can sit on my butt on my couch and play that on my Series X on a TV and not move for 3 hours, there's going to be a problem, because man, that game's already addicting. And
a session is 30 minutes. So you're like, 30 minutes, that's not long. And then you're 8 sessions in, and you're like, what am I after doing?
Yeah.
I'm playing a $3 2 megabyte game. There's something wrong here.
When is that? Is that soon that they're doing that? Did anyone say?
I think it's this month. I think the reason people know it is because it's been confirmed for this month. I could be wrong, or next month maybe.
Okay.
I don't remember, but I had a lot of people telling me it was coming to Game Pass.
All right. Well, it's PC Game Pass, not Xbox. Boo.
Well, can't you cloud stream it?
Some
to
of
your
it.
Xbox?
Yeah, if it supports it. If the game supports cloud streaming, you can, but it just
I think
depends.
it's Steam Link it too. It's on Steam. I thought, is it to other PCs? No, it's other PCs. So I had a secondary PC hooked up to my TV, so I could play games on the good PC.
Yeah.
And over local network, stream it to a television.
Gotcha.
So you can do that.
Yeah.
It runs on your PC, but I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure Vampire Survivors will be a lag-free experience.
Probably not too bad, is my guess.
It's literally a NES game.
Bo, you played I'm surprised not to see 50 new VR titles here. Instead, it's all Heroes of the Storm for you this week.
Yeah. So work's been busy, and I've been stressed, and I'm sort of in this weird spot. You guys stream as well, so tell me if you guys go through this. But I've been streaming. I didn't stream at all this week. I took some time off of that too. For anyone listening, wondering why no both streams have gone up, it's just been a rough week. I've been tired every night, and I just want some downtime to watch some TV and play some Heroes.
Nothing wrong with it.
But I feel real because I've been streaming so much for the past almost, I want to say, a year, like almost daily. I find it hard to play games and not stream.
Yeah.
Just because every time I'm playing the games, I'm flipping the stream on, I'm talking with people. Like and so when it comes to sitting down and playing a game, I'm like, but I could play this on stream. It's content.
Mm-hmm.
So then I don't play a game. And then I'll be like, well, I'll play something else. So like, partly why I've played a lot of Heroes of Storm this week is like, well, I'm not streaming, so I'm just gonna, play play this. Although I really enjoyed myself, but mainly that would be the reason why. It's just been a tough week at the day job.
Yeah,
and which I can't discuss. It's
it's a job thing. I get it.
Leave work at work.
Yeah.
But so turns out
it didn't. Go ahead. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
Well,
keep going.
Yeah, I mean, so I got in there because I streamed one day of playing it. I'm like, I had a good time. Then I'm like, oh, I'm just tired. I'm half asleep. Let me just play some Heroes. And I started trying to figure out, broken things because the game's now poorly attended to.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, in Quick Match, what are ways that I can just own people with broken shit now?
Yeah.
And not that I necessarily found it, but I started playing Sylvanas because she does her dagger build. I don't think is super secret, but it can dumpster out a lot of AoE damage with the Shadow Dagger build. So I was enjoying doing that. And then, I'm playing Nazebo, and I'm like, how many stacks? So you can build Nazebo with a level 4 talent that doubles the bonuses from his Voodoo Ritual, giving you extra HP. So I'm like, how many stacks of that? So I got up to like 8,000 hit points or something like that with like 300 or 400 stacks at one point. Like, I'm not even trying to win the game. I'm just going everywhere and trying to last hit everything on the goddamn earth. So I'm in there sort of partially trolling and just trying to like accomplish these kinds of goals to see how feasible it was. And that was fun, and those strategies work. Ragnaros is still a really big bully in Quick Match because you just go Lava Wave at 10 and 20, and even if you're losing, you're winning because you can just clear so much shit that if you lose, you'll make them take 50 minutes to play a game, which is a great way to troll as well.
Sure.
And the last one is I've been playing nothing but Stitches matches. So there's a Stitches talent now at level 1 that gives you every 20 regeneration globes. It gives you a baseline extra 5% move speed. So you're walking at 105 while everyone's at 100. And then every 20 globes, you get an extra 5%. So I'm like, how many globes can I get in a match? One match, I was able to get 20%. I was able to get 60 regeneration globes. And it is hilarious. Novas and Li Mings, they go up to you, they go pew, and then they walk away. Me Stitches, me walk, and you just like they using all their little abilities, and me for free baseline. I'm basically mounted, and I'm just like smacking them, biting them, pooing on them, and barfing on them. The thing Stitches does. So I'm having a lot of fun. I keep wanting to dumpster on people trying to be elite with their sweet assassins, and I'm just here with the slowest, poopiest hero, chasing them down and not dying because I have 1 billion hit points, and I keep having a good time with it, so I keep doing it. I'm like, I enjoy this I call Ninja Stitches build because even at one point players complained like, oh, if the tank would stop running into the team, and I'm like, I'm not a tank, I'm a ninja. and so either they get on board or we lose. But it's been a fun way to play.
That's great, though. I'm glad you found a groove for that.
I mean, I never wanted to stop playing Hero. I was really pissed about all that stuff, and it just seems to be getting worse and worse. And I'm like, so part of my approach to content creation, or what we're doing here, is I really liked when we were Heroes of the Storm show because I like educating and practicing and getting good. And I got no game like that. Like, we can talk about new games all the time, and it's fine. I enjoy it. I enjoy gaming. But what I really like is like practicing something and getting better at it, and I just haven't found that game. I just haven't found that game outside of Heroes. Like, I keep thinking I might, and then I keep dropping off, and like I get back into Heroes and I'm really good at it. Like all that practice is still there, so it's still just like really fun and rewarding to play. So that's why I want them to stop doing dumb shit like the diversity tool and harassing fellow employees and because I actually really like playing Heroes of the Storm, it turns out.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of addicted. The addiction's sort of back on in a big way. Just playing that game. So.
Doesn't it feel like that?
I logged like 100 or 200 games this past week.
Do you worry that this future is not that far for an announcement that the game just is in maintenance mode? Because it kind of is now.
I mean, it is. It is. It for sure is. There is CCL. There is some competitive heroes going on. But, as we've learned, we won't get the truth out of the company about how important or not important a property is. So I'm just going to go ahead and assume that, if it squeezes a couple of bucks out of the game, then great.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's not even on the radar of anyone at an executive level, ABK. I hope they keep it. I hope they still maintain their philosophy of keeping their game servers online and supporting a lot of their games. That means that game could still be around for the next 10 or 20 years, and that's just fine with me. No, I think if you're getting into esports, it's not enough just to make a good game. You've got to compete in the business of esports.
Yeah. And
I just, for whatever reason, I don't think they were ready to take that on. You got to be trying to knock Riot out of its #1 spot. And if you're not trying, then
I think they tried
to
it
make
first.
it in any esports.
I think they tried early on. I'm just not sure it was enough. I don't know how you.
Once they no battle plan survives first contact. So I think it felt like there was an expectation they release it, the people will come, and it'll be good. They released it, the response was tepid. There's a lot of criticism, and they did nothing with it.
Yeah.
If you want to win, you got to act like you want to win. And I definitely had that feeling as time grew on that they were just interested in the product as it was and not really trying to attract competitive talent from other games. People left Heroes of the Storm to go. Psalm, who was a pro Heroes player, left for Fortnite, won $1 million coming in second in that big tournament where the 16-year-old did.
Yeah.
Those people that compete want to compete and win big prizes and be a part of something cool and special.
Yeah.
And now it all makes sense. There's a lot of inner turmoil going on at the company. That's why we didn't get Titan. That's why we didn't get
second
support
Diablo
for Heroes after HCG, and now we sort of all see it sort of blowing up. So they're only human, and that's just that story now. I can't wait for someone to publish that book because I'll probably buy that.
Oh hell yeah, I'd buy that book.
At some point we'll learn and we'll go, oh, that's why. Did you guys see George Bush's gaffe today? By the way, the best George. What a way to end a career! It's so great, like a capstone. Where he's like, the invasion is terrible and horrible, and it's such a sham. This invasion of Iraq. I mean Ukraine.
Yeah,
Iraq too. Then he says, no, Iraq too.
Yeah,
I'm 75. Just ignore everything I said.
Yeah, ignore my old man talking. Yeah,
I was like, good God.
Yeah,
for a minute, horrifying.
Yeah, it's
horrifying. But you still funny man. I'm still laughing.
You got to find the humor in it, or else you're dead. So
I don't know why it came up. I don't know why I went there. I just should stop talking.
No, it's okay. What I was gonna ask you a thing. I forgot what it was, and that's no good. Oh, Schreier's writing a book. Blizzard Activision thing with a bunch of internal stuff. I know he's asking around retired people for interviews and stuff, and I don't know when that will happen or when that's coming out. And some people can't stand Jason Schreier's work. Some people think he's really important to the games journalism world. Wherever you stand on it, though, that might be the closest we'll ever get to a tell-all Blizzard book. So I'll probably read it. I want to know.
He's releasing it soon?
I don't think soon. I think he's still in the middle of writing, but it was made known that he's doing it.
At some point, depending on how things go, I imagine someone will be wanting to tell their story. One of those guys. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
But there's a lot of people. There was a phenomenon, a one-of-a-kind, unparalleled phenomenon in gaming. The culmination of everyone's desire to have the biggest mud ever. And
wait, what's
multi-user dimension?
I thought it was some other
MMORPGs were MUDs before they were MMORPGs.
Got it. Okay,
right?
You're right. Yeah.
So really, all through my life, I've been aware of MUDs and how it turned into online games and MMOs, MMORPG. Like, there's this whole genesis that they kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they apexed at World of Warcraft. I don't think anyone's. I mean, maybe China's had MMOs with more logins now, but like in terms of that North American, at the very least, lineage of role-playing games.
Oh yeah, it's never been bigger than that.
WoW, WoW was an apex, and WoW was a pioneer and a first in many ways for a lot of people. And I think there's just going to be a lot of people that are going to want to know, what happened during these tumultuous years where things don't seem to be as happy as they were.
Because massive growth is. I used to wonder this, like, man, how are they handling this massive growth? I guess they're doing okay. I don't think it went that great. I think it went bad. I think they had.
I think so. Well, I mean, cars can fly off the road, and for whatever those reasons are, I
mean, if your measurement is money, they did great. But if your measurement is quality of life for everybody from top to bottom, if your measurement is how honest people were, how well they treated each other, like all those measurements, the ones that matter to me more, then I don't think they did that great for that for that growth. That massive growth was not a good growing.
I mean, part of it might to be human. Like, I don't know. I don't know shit. It just might be different people have different ideas on a direction. When everyone runs in a different direction at a certain point, then no one's working together too. And you sort of see that, like, again, the CEO left the company of one of the biggest, most prestigious game developers to start his own game development company. Yeah. Okay, that should make it clear for anyone. That's about, right?
That's him trying to get a fresh start from a thing that got away from him. That's 100%
like,
what happened.
I'm not happy here. I can't do what I want.
Right.
Like, you're the CEO. If you can't do what you want, who the hell can?
Right.
What is going on? Like, I mean,
up until they announced the new game company, I wasn't convinced why he'd left. I thought, well, he's just retiring. It's busy for 24 years. That's a lot. I would probably want time off too. But the minute they announced that company, I went, oh, well, he's just getting right back on the treadmill.
You can't say shit. You can get sued. You leave a company that you're the CEO of, and you're like, that place sucks. Watch the stock price go down, and watch your ass, because you've probably signed agreements in your employment contracts or whatever it is, and you're in trouble.
Oh yeah.
And he might still have stock in it, so he's like, well, I don't really want the stock to go down. I just don't want to work there because it sucks. But please keep giving them money. Their products are great. Hi, China. Yeah. So like,
hello, China.
Or hello, China.
Yeah.
So that's just the reality of it. But yeah. Anyways, I still like Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
I still think it's a great game, and I'm still kind of holding out that whatever it takes, that they can find their way to making good video game products, because
that'd be great.
The one thing about video game companies that you can't hold a light to, like unlike music artists and filmmakers, is that it takes a lot to make these video games.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as you might like indies, there's certain experiences you're just never going to have if a big corporation isn't behind it. And Blizzard has made some really good products that I enjoy. So
yeah, they certainly have. And he said this.
Hello, China. Hello, China.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know why I did it twice.
Hello.
Take it twice. All right. Well, there's the games we played this week. It is time for a mashup, everybody. Yeah, that's right. Jamie put one together.
We got betting on this one.
Yeah, this is a meta game still, right? So what's the name?
TMS Mashup said today, with 47% of the vote, you thought Scott Johnson said the title, which is Paid Cock.
Paid Cock.
Paid Cock.
So we're going to find out now who said it. Scott, Bo, or myself.
I would also vote for myself, because I always make these. I have a feeling this is a reference to Free Cock as opposed to Peacock. They have their paid version of Peacock, the streaming service, or you can get Free Cock, or I call it Free Cock. I have a feeling that somehow Paid Cock came out of that. So we'll see, but you're probably all correct. The vast majority.
Here's the breakdown. We'll just give it just before you play it. 47% said Scott, 39% said Bo, 14% said me.
I think John would
I voted for you, John.
It was a bad vote. That was thank you.
Thank you.
Vote. I know I didn't say that.
You threw your vote away. Let's find out who said it. Here you go. For your brain only.
Brain of the tiger. It's the thrill
of the fight. It's the thing when you poke it in the thing. Right?
And I was in middle school sometime, I had a girlfriend and she was over at my house and she looked at me and she goes, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I want you to come in with me.
No! Now I want Waluigi to bust into the room and catch Robert Pattinson smacking his wiener in the lighthouse.
Scott's like, I see a hole there. Bo, don't fall in. And he falls in and grabs me. And he's like...
And now it's like, hey, what do you think of my hole? Check out my hole. I pull up a chair.
Grab a shovel. We're going to dig our way out. It'll be fun.
Check out my sweet hole I made for us.
Then Scott and I will be like, actually, it's kind of cozy in this hole.
It's not a bad hole. I have a cozy hole. I can tell you that.
I thought we were going to sneak in and, make out in the bathroom. And it was going to be...
That's cool.
It was going to be awesome. This is going to be great.
This is an India's shit game. And I hope if they're on the platinum list,
for the record, Bo said, indie shit game, not an Indian shit game. I just want everyone to know.
Oh, sorry.
No, just for clarity, because if we
why
get
did I
emails...
say indie shit game anyways?
I don't remember why you said it.
I don't think I meant to say indie shit games. If I said that, I'm also sorry.
Oh, maybe I remember
sure
it.
What the context.
Oh, indie as shit.
I was trying to say something else.
I think you said indie as shit, and I heard Indian shit.
Oh, India shit. Okay.
Watch somebody try to dig themselves out of a hole.
Okay. No, India shit is fine.
She goes into the bathroom and then I slip in. She shuts the door and again I'm like, oh, it's gonna get sexy in here. And she's like, go stand in the shower. What? And I was like, okay. And she's like, I'm gonna shut the door because I'm shy. And I was like, what's gonna happen? And then she took a poop.
Wait. Really? So you were standing in the shower and she took a poo and
as long as they didn't turn you around, bend you over, and put a metal pipe in your butthole, you're probably fine.
It needs to be a long rod so it reaches up to my sternum. Though.
Yeah, way up there.
If you're going in through the butt. It has to be. I need a good couple of feet of pipe in my butt.
MacGruber on Peacock.
Peacock, which I on TMS accidentally called Freecock. I called it Freecock, which
That's
is not
a pretty good name. I don't know why they didn't lean into that.
Anyway,
well, because you got to pay for it. It's going to be paid cock.
Paid cock. Oh, nobody wants to pay for.
Oh shit!
It was cock coin.
Oh my gosh, it was Bo. It wasn't me. Oh my
Yeah, you said you were right. You said free cock, and that's what I said. You gotta pay. It's paid cock otherwise with cock coin.
Oh my gosh, I am blown away that was you in the end. That's amazing. You win, Bo. You win all the whatever you win. What do you win?
I don't know. I think John wins. That story was somewhat thrilling.
Yeah.
I like that they managed to get the whole story in there. That was good.
Well, yeah, because I was like, I know in the context it probably seemed fine, but I hadn't heard it and there was no context, so it just sounded like, I guess you guys were really young and you were hoping to make out and she wanted to take a shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's funny, but it's like, it's a little weird.
John, you should reach out.
Yes, it's very weird.
You should reach out.
Extremely weird.
Reach out and find out how she's doing. What's going on with her? Is she like
I don't
Well, maybe you could message her and find out. Like, remember that thing that happened? Like, what was the deal there?
Yeah, did you really? I mean, did you just really?
Did you just need moral support,
yeah.
or
was it? No,
I want to know.
Thrilling to you?
I want to know.
No, it wasn't thrilling to me.
No,
I thought we were okay because
like imagine. By the way, you had the shower curtain closed. I'm assuming you couldn't see anything.
Yeah,
right?
it was like a glass shower door, but it had the like obscuring.
So she just wanted someone present in the room for her while she was shitting, so that she felt reassurance. I mean, I used to be scared. You know the movie Ghoulies? I never saw it, but I saw the box in the movie theater, and it had the ghoulie coming out of the toilet to eat your bum. So I used to be scared when I was young to go to the toilet, because what if a monster ate my ass?
Okay, but when did you stop being afraid of this? Because we were in middle school.
Yeah, I don't know, like 24 maybe. No, just kidding.
24.
It was older than it should have been. Okay. It was older than I should have been. Maybe like 15 or 16. I was still feeling nervous and didn't want to admit it to anybody.
Man, the tagline of that movie is "They'll get you in the end" while he's in a toilet.
Yeah, literally in your end. And like I was like, oh my god, I never thought green monsters could rise out of the toilet, and it just always freaked me out. So maybe she felt the ghoulies wouldn't get her if you were.
I mean, I think a lot of kids have a fear of the toilet. For some reason, I was afraid of lightning coming out of the toilet. And
lightning?
Yeah. I think somebody told me that lightning would conduct through water, and in my brain that translated to, well, if lightning strikes water outside, it'll go up the pipes and come out the toilet.
You know, that's a kid way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone's ever died from lightning on the toilet. I'm gonna Google that.
So my parents told me this is embarrassing and I shouldn't share it, but I'm going to anyway.
Go.
My parents said the way they finally got me to use the toilet is they said because you didn't want to do it, and they said the way we finally got you to was we told you that if you bend over while you're pooping, you can see the poop fall into the toilet, and you thought that was so cool, you decided to go do it.
Oh my gosh. I hate knowing that. I hate knowing it. That's a horrible thing to know. I don't want to know it. Oh my god.
I don't still do it,
No,
Scott.
I know.
But as a kid, it was exciting.
So here's an article from Carolina Country called "Don't Sit on the Toilet During a Thunderstorm."
Okay.
So that might actually be a real thing, John.
Oh.
Okay, but do we have any history of it actually happening to anybody?
Text though. Oh yeah, there's a picture of a broken ass toilet from lightning. Here you go, copy. I'll paste it in here.
Okay.
Oh no, that looks bad.
Let me see.
Toilet got struck by lightning in Oklahoma, and
jeez.
there's officially no more pooping during thunderstorms. Nope, never again will I ever sit on a toilet during a thunderstorm. I'm not trying to take a lightning bolt straight to the junk.
Wait, so it came up through the water then?
Firefighters from the Okmulgee Fire Department or Okmulgee, Oklahoma. Okmulgee, what is this city? Responded to one of the strangest calls they probably ever received at the Oxford apartment complex, according to Fox 23. Apparently, lightning struck the apartment, went through the roof, and struck the toilet, practically shattering it into a million pieces. The only thing I think of would send lightning straight to the toilet is the fact that anything metal can be a lightning rod in a storm, and the toilet must have somehow been metal. However, if that was the case, wouldn't we be hearing about this stuff more often? You'd think. Luckily, nobody was living in the apartment yet.
Okay, but did it come up through the under, or was it down through the house?
This article is such a joke, though. Do you know what's worse? Getting assassinated by a man with a spear hiding inside your toilet, which, believe it or not, used to be fairly common way back in the day.
What?
Yadomir, Duke of Bohemia, was assassinated by someone under the toilet with a spear, as was Wenceslas III, the third of Bohemia, in 1304. So Bohemians, man, they like to assassinate their royalty by spearing them in the toilet.
Hiding in like a water closet style outhouse type thing, like down in the pit?
Yeah, hiding in the pile of shit, and then just going like, when he gets here, I'm gonna shove this spear right up his bunghole.
That's completely effed up. I don't like any of that.
That's not good at all.
But it sort of makes me question just how accurate that. But no, Newsweek has it. Florida's couple's toilet exploded as lightning strikes near septic tank. Proof you shouldn't go near the bathroom in a thunderstorm.
Oh, so it struck the septic tank and then came through the pipes. That makes sense to me.
Pipes are metal, yeah.
That makes sense to me.
I'm glad there's some legitimacy to it. But
well,
to be clear, I was
John. Now I'm
scared.
scared.
I was afraid of it
no,
all
I'm
the time, whether there was a
thunderstorm
or not. Yeah.
Probably everyone listening didn't realize they could get exploded in a thunderstorm.
No.
Well,
I hope someone who knows better writes in and reassures us this is not the case.
Yeah, let us know.
Please do that in this situation.
Yeah,
please.
Who knows what Bo's going to do with this information now?
Yeah, debunk this.
Well, I'll have to hold it, and then that'll suck.
It sounds like a job for like an old Mythbusters episode, but I don't think I've ever heard of them.
Maybe you could shit in your tub. It's not as bad.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
Doesn't sound fun.
No.
Well,
I feel like
if it's thunderstorming for hours and hours and hours, and you just got to go, and you can't use the toilet, what do you do?
Well, I would get up and use the
go.
toilet.
It's not going to fit in a water bottle. I'll tell you that, Johnson.
I mean, it's a fair point. You make a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, based on the sheer number of hours spent in places where I am, I think the numbers are good. I'm going to die on the toilet. So I just think, there's worse ways to go.
Well, there are definitely worse ways to go.
That's how you got over your fear.
Yeah.
I got over the fear because my parents said I could see the poop fall in the toilet.
Right.
And my excitement about that was more powerful than my fear of hypothetical lightning.
Yeah. I mean, not to get too personal or anything, but that's exactly where my dad died. He was on the can, and he had a heart attack, leaned forward, and that was it. Yeah. So
it increased your heart rate while you're.
It happens. Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
I had a very strange and realistic dream where I died going to the bathroom on the toilet.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
This episode has gone places.
I know. Oddly enough, very similar to the pre-show discussion too.
Yeah, I kind of blame.
I don't know how we ended up back here.
I don't know how we ended up here either. There's something in the wind. All right, we're gonna move on to these emails real quick and pound these out. This is how they work.
That's a good question.
Email talktothecore@gmail.com is our email address. Doug wrote in and says, literally listening to the latest episode in the Dickie Dickerson section. Just wanted to say I don't always agree with you guys, but I love listening to this show every week. I think there needs to be more agree to disagree and then grab a beer. We are all humans, and that's okay. Keep it up. Thanks for all you do, Doug. I don't actually know what Doug disagrees with us on, though. So as much as I appreciate...
Probably whether this bathroom talk should have been in the episode.
Yeah. Whether or not lightning dying on toilet talk should have happened, but I don't know. So, Doug, here's how we look at disagreements, Doug. Sure. We're never just like throwing anybody under the bus ever. Even if you've got a really bad take, it's just people talking about it. So we understand this whole idea of agree to disagree. It's totally fine. I have plenty of friends who I disagree with. Not these guys. I tend to agree with them most of the time, but
except the Halo TV show.
Except for the Halo TV show, where John is completely freaking up a tree on that. He's just wrong.
It's bad. I don't need to see it to know it's bad.
He'll see it eventually and go, "Oh, this was good. What was I thinking?" And season 2 is already greenlit. They did real well with this. So
see what I want to do is I want TMS mashups to log all of the it's bad. It's just bad talk, and then when I do get to watching it, and I'm like, guys know that Halo TV show was really good. Then just put a mashup together of that.
It'll be like what happened with Dunaway, because I recorded him in 2006 saying this.
I don't like Steam.
He said that and he meant it. And then I caught him in 2012 or something saying this.
I love Steam.
And he meant it. So
yeah,
it'll be like that. You'll have a complete turnaround, because I think that
I will happily admit when I'm wrong. Although, depending on how long it takes for me to see it, I will potentially pass it off as if I had never said I didn't think it would be good.
That's totally fine, because by then my memory will be iffy at best. So.
I'll come back and be like, hey, Scott, I finally got around to watching that Halo show you recommended, and you were right. It was very good.
And I'll say, oh, did I like it? Okay.
It's almost like, our mood affects how we feel about things.
No, you're right, Bo. It is like that.
All right, here's another one from Vincent Minucci, who I used to say his name wrong all the time, but now I know how to say it. Vince. Anyway, we know him. He's was big in the Heroes podcasting community when we were, and still hanging around, still doing good work. Dearest Corehounds, as a parent of 2 children who have logged at least 1,000 hours into Roblox, I can say with experience and reasonable authority that Roblox is in fact quite lame.
Yes.
He says for every 1 or 2 genuinely well-made mods, which can be quite impressive, to be fair, on the platform, there are no less than 500 to 1,000 garbage, broken, and gotcha mods. It is literally a trademark infringement nightmare. Yours in the next life, and this one as well. Vincent Minucci. Insert Scott's mispronouncing my last name.
Careful.
Yeah, same Vincent.
Yeah,
I got 2 kids here that love playing it, and like, the amount of times I've heard, hey, John, did you know Among Us is on Roblox? And I'm like, no, it isn't. And they're like, yeah, look. And it's just somebody who has ripped off the art and stuck it on a thing.
Yep.
And you play a game vaguely like it that is, ripping off the concept. And they're like, see, it's Among Us.
No, you give tools to people, and the first thing they do is they make Mario level 1-1. They make penises. They make Among Us ripoffs. Like, remember when Little Big Planet was new and everybody was just like, that's all they did was make ripoffs of everything else and figure out ways to insert sound files from things that weren't theirs and all that other stuff. I mean, Roblox I find completely inane and lame, but clearly that thing's a monster, and like they're doing great.
Well, yeah, it's a chance for kids to socialize with each other and have common experiences, and parents don't monitor it because they think, oh, it's fine. There's nothing bad in there. And yet I've seen what some of the kids say in that place, and it's not good.
Yeah.
So, it's just one of those things. Like,
part of that psycho who shot those people in New York put in his manifesto, or part of his Discord post or something, referred to how Roblox was a big part of helping him see what his future would be or something like that. So currently Roblox is on the video games are destroying our children list. Yeah. As a result.
Even they don't deserve that. I mean, come on.
No, these things are... whatever. This kid's a psycho, and
Satanic Panic.
Yeah,
more Satanic Panic.
Although less than the 90s. The 90s were bad, but at least now there are people in power who play a lot of video games.
We have a different kind of Satanic Panic in this day and age. You put a strong female character in it, and all of a sudden you're ruining society.
Yeah, I think
it's literally this generation's version of Satanic Panic.
I think it makes me miss the Satanic Panic of the 90s
because at least Star Wars thing. Stupid. What was her name? Rose.
Oh man,
put Rose in this game. Who cares? There's a character. Satanic Panic.
People are so worked up and mad about this. This Halo. The Halo community is freaking toxic, dude. Like they are horrendous human beings. Some of them. Not all of them.
What are they mad about?
They're mad about the Halo show not being exactly like the games, which is why I like it, because I've already played the games. I know what the story is. Give me something new, and I'm totally happy with what they're doing. And they're not. And so there was a whole thing where Ann Wheaton, Will Wheaton's wife, was getting harassed on Twitter for no reason she could figure out. She's like, why are these people yelling at me about Halo? I've never even played it. I don't know who Master Chief is. What is this? People are just losing their minds on me, saying terrible stuff like death threat stuff and all that. Yeah. And it turns out something somewhere got started on 4chan or somewhere where somebody said, oh, Ann Wheaton is a writer for the Halo show. And so everybody just swamped her and bombed her constantly for like a week. And it didn't matter how many times she says, I don't work on this show. I have nothing to do with it. Well, that's what you would say. Like just complete freak out. As if she was somehow involved in whatever was ruining their childhood.
Well, you got your own share for having the audacity to like it. So
it's good because it's good, man. It's actually good. And it's a separate from all of this mess. Like those toxic fandom of any kind can take a ride to Buttholeville. I hate it. Like when fandom gets toxic, what are you even doing? What is the point?
I don't even here's the thing. Mine is the level of the reaction, right? Like if people want to get fired up over stupid shit, like I'm all for it. Like there's nothing I like more than being like, I'm going to be riled up over nothing today. Like that's good. But keep it within perspective. At the end of the day, don't threaten anybody's life. Like you want to get up in arms and bitch about unimportant things. I mean, the entire movie Clerks is that premise, and it's funny and it's good.
Yeah,
but they didn't go around threatening to kill anybody over the stuff that was in it. Like it's I got to keep it within reasonability.
I like spirited disagreement. Nothing wrong with spirited disagreement. I don't mind people being really strong, having strong feelings about a thing they love, and having an argument is fine. Like all that stuff is great. We do it here, but I don't end the show with going, John, if you don't like the Halo show, I hope you trip and both your eyes are gouged out by the fork that was in the floor. Like, you can't. Why take it to that extreme?
Yeah.
I mean, I probably shouldn't use our example, but you know what I mean. Ann Wheaton had nothing to do with the show in the first place. Even if she did, freaking leave her alone.
Yeah.
It's none of your damn business.
Doesn't excuse it. Yeah.
Oh, dicks. Everyone's a dick. All right. That's going to do it for
people with mental health problems.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I think there are a lot of them out there, and then you put them all on one website called Twitter, and then it looks like it's everyone. But
you're going to feel real bad when I fall on a fork later tonight, Scott.
I really hope you don't fall on a fork.
I know you
that would suck
you
so
would
bad.
Genuinely feel bad about it. You'd be like, I was joking. He knew I was joking, but then it happened.
Fell on another floor fork. Ah, those damn floor forks.
They're all over the place.
You got kids. Kids leave things.
They do. Let me tell you.
That's been my experience. My kids left stuff everywhere, and now there's like a 2-year-old that comes around the house once in a while, and he leaves things. I found a dinosaur in a plant today because I was trying to water my wife's plant while she's out of town. Freaking plastic dinosaur in there.
That at least makes a level of fun sense. Like, it was in its environment.
Sure.
The one I had not the other day, this is a while ago, but I point to it because it's the maddest I've ever been about such a small thing. But I went walking by the dinner table we have, which we're still making payments on, by the way. That's another part of it. And there's just a puddle of milk sitting on the table. And I went, why the hell is there a puddle of milk on this table? Mm-hmm. Get out here. Mm-hmm. And my stepson comes in and he goes, I didn't know how to clean it up. And I went, so the decision you made was to just let it sit on a wooden table. And as I'm saying this, he goes over and he starts pulling off paper towels. And I said, I see you're figuring it out now that I'm talking to you about
Oh my god, you're giving me flashbacks to my childhood.
like,
Same thing, different decade, I'm telling you. That's how all kids do it.
I'll never forget my dad tried to teach me a lesson, so he knocked a jar of mustard off the table. He's like, "What do you do? What do you do?" And I'm like frozen.
Yeah.
You pick it up. I was like,
Wow.
okay, what's the lesson here? Like, weird. I know. And then he picked it up and put it. See, pick it up. And I'm like, I'm being terrorized right now. Like, piss off, Dad. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Someone in the chat says, my God, John is the dad from the We're Not Gonna Take It video. That's amazing.
is that true?
We're not
Is that what's in
gonna
there?
take it. Yeah, there's a dad. I think he's the guy who, he may play Dean Wormer or somebody. He's someone famous for being an ass in like 80s movies. I can't remember. But it's the old D. Snyder freaking Twisted Sister video. It's great. Anyway.
I don't think I'm out of line for not being cool with milk being left on a wooden table.
No, I think.
I don't have kids and I don't raise them, so I don't know. But it's not fun to be yelled at. But at the same time, you gotta raise your kids how you see fit. And if you want them to learn some lessons and they're just have a thick skull, I mean, I don't know. I can't give advice.
Oh, here it
It's
is.
not fun.
Okay, the dad from Twisted Sister. The video, We're Not Gonna Take It, is, you all know him, Mark Metcalf. Oh gosh, Animal House, One Crazy Summer, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh, you'd know him if you saw him. He's on Seinfeld. Oh, he's the Seinfeld guy that does the. He's the maestro that takes his pants off so they won't wrinkle while he's sitting.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
he's much older now.
Yeah.
He's
Super old now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy. So
I
anyway,
got him up on IMDb. Okay.
Bob Cobb is his name on that
Bob
thing.
Cobb.
All right. Well, there's that. Quick note to somebody out there named Joshua Whipsky. I just want to say thank you, Joshua, for being a supporter of the show. He's one of our newest patrons at patreon.com/core show. If you'd like to be
Joshua.
If you'd like to be like Joshua or a bunch of others like him, sign up today. Patreon.com/core show. You can get in real cheap and get great benefits for doing it. We're reworking a couple of things on the levels to make them. Some of the stuff is like ancient heroes benefits that somehow got forgotten. So we're going to tweak all that and give you guys some better stuff that's a little bit more current for the show today. But everybody who's out there doing that already, thank you so much for being supporters of the show. It really helps things get made around here, and it means a lot to us. All right, before we get out of here, words of wisdom. Start with John.
Hi, everybody. John here at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And boy, we had some fun today. Just remember that the bathroom is not a place to be feared. I know it's a place we all must venture alone and handle our dark business, but, eventually you flush. You'll see the light again.
Yeah.
You don't need to bring a friend. You don't need to fear the toilet. Let's all just have our alone time. We don't get it enough.
Yeah, I agree. Don't be like this when you see a toilet.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't do that. All right. Bo, anything to add?
There's nothing so confining as the prisons of our own perceptions.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good. I feel like we're getting a hint about Saturday. I don't know. Why do I feel that way? Speaking of
No,
which,
that's Shakespeare.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
Shakespeare line.
All right.
It's not, yeah.
you should sound like the principal was freaking out. So that was pretty good.
Oh, did I?
I don't know, a little bit. You guys can check that out, too. We're going to be playing D&D this weekend, so check that out, all things willing. And that's it. My wife gets home tomorrow, and I'm super stoked because I won't have to live on beef jerky and garbage anymore. I'll actually have someone here who's smart and nice. And
You're an actual half raccoon. You're a raccoon man.
really
You're a
am.
raccoon man hiding out in a human's clothing.
yeah. Here's what
Hey,
I said
had
earlier.
beef
Carter
jerky and garbage.
Carter texted me while I was doing the show. Guys, just maybe an hour ago. She sends me a text. It says, "Dad, what are we doing for food? What do you want to eat?" I said, I'm not sure. What are you going to do? She goes, "I don't know. I'm so hungry." I said, "I really have no idea. How about ramen from the basement?" She says,
I had basement ramen earlier. I was like, this is where we're at, dude. We are effed.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree now, does it?
I had basement ramen earlier. That's
Why don't
so
you order
good.
some taken? Take out.
Some taken. Yeah, I got a special set of
Delivery,
skills.
said,
Yeah.
I have a very special set of skills. It's bringing you food.
Oh my lord.
I will find out where you live, and I will bring you the food.
Yeah. Now they're going to take you, and then you hang up. Speaking of hanging up, we're out of here. Thanks everybody for listening. That's going to do it. Enjoy your basement ramen. Play some video games. We'll be back next week with more. Until then, bye.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.
A proper home for me and my bunny.
A proper home for me and my bunny. And bunny sounds like not a bunny, but like her boyfriend, like